And welcome to the South Pine Sports Complex. NEAFL TV through Bar TV. This is preliminary final one for NEAFL season 2019, culminating in the undefeated Brisbane Lions up against the Sydney Swans. It's going to be a cracker of a game. Michael Price with Mark Kennedy to call all of your action. Kanga, you witnessed the game yesterday. You called it with Riley. Southport got over the top of Aspley, and that decided the first entrant to the grand final. This to decide the second. Tell me about yesterday, first up.
Yeah, it was Southport, terrific display in the end. It was a tight opening to the contest, and just one goal kicked in the first quarter, and then Southport 5-1 in the second quarter, broke it open. Aspley tried valiantly to get back into it in the second half, but Southport, the likes of Ryan Davis, Andrew Boston, and then Manteep was very good in the second half, and I thought Reece Clark and Brodie Murdoch, and then of course, big Josh Hall, a couple of big hangers, 3 goals for the day. It was terrific, and Aspley tried hard, but season over. Season over
for the Hornets. Now, when it comes to this particular game, you've got the magnificent Brisbane Lions side, undefeated all year. Sydney Swans pushed them only a couple of weeks ago at Tramway Oval, where the Lions actually had to produce something monumental to go over the top of them in the last quarter. Are the Swans with a chance?
Well, you say they are because they've played each other 4 times, and it's 4-love at the moment. But each time the Swans have got closer and closer, and the Swans are actually in front into time on in the last quarter before Brisbane really asserted their authority late with some quick goals. I think they're a sneaky chance. What we do know is that they may not have as many listed or rookie players as what Brisbane have out in the paddock today, but what they have out there really are quality.
Yeah, they're the academy system in Sydney. We've sung the praises of that for many years over NEAFL TV, watching the NEAFL games, and the magnificent youngsters they've managed to produce off of basically it's a conveyor belt of talent. But they're up against the formidable Brisbane Lions, 23 listed AFL players, fully fit, and with an injury last night in the AFL game, you'd have to think that there's a half a dozen blokes reckon they can fill that breach, Kanga, and they'll be going hell for leather.
Well, that's right, and the profile of the Brisbane list suggests that they have some real good mature bodies and some younger talent who are capable of stepping up. That has been the catalyst, I think, for why Brisbane have been so good at NEAFL level, is because the competition for AFL spots has been there from day one throughout the year. It has only intensified as the season progresses, as Brisbane have really maintained their spot in the AFL ladder.
Some late changes. Riley Stoddart, of course, didn't come up for the game. Matthew Ling is a laid out for Sydney Swans, and Luke Parks and Pierce Roseby come in the emergencies. No changes for Brisbane. They are at full strength to get us started for preliminary final one. Here's Mark Kennedy.
Well, we are here, and it's a beautiful day, a little bit windy. That'll be recalled, that bounce. It's going to be Naismith versus Archie Smith, and one of the great things I think Sydney have today, and a big advantage, that Darcy Cameron, Michael Noel, and of course Sam Naismith, real tall timber through the middle of the ground. Archie Smith has got a big job, and of course the Sydney guys can really push forward as we get underway again. Archie Smith on hands and knees, we get it out there. The Swans, they're just going to push it forward in the first foray. Payne couldn't handle it, but Lester can. Cutler, he'll be in the mix there for that spot next week. Handball didn't hit its target, but Bastanak cleans it up. Cedric Cox now, Junior Silk, just puts on the afterburners. How far's he run? He takes his second there, gets a kick inside forward 50. Good spoil. That came from foot, and now they can get out of trouble through Van Hoysted.
He kicks it into a contested situational spoil down by Allison. Goes out wide. Louis Taylor for the Brisbane Lions tracks the ball over the boundary line in front of the scoreboard. We played a minute. No score. We'll get a throw in right half forward.
Tell us about that win, Pricey.
Oh, swirling, and it's basically going more or less straight across the ground, but it's slightly favouring the right of screen, or the southern end, as you can see here on NEAFL TV. Archie Smith, front position. James Bell goes hard, gets the ball, tackled off it by Eli Smith. Attack forward for the Swans. Brisbane are going to repel it. Leicester off one step, kicks it to a contest. Beautifully read by Amati in defence, takes the saving mark, and Swans will get a chance to repel.
Just growing as the season progresses, Joel Amati. Little scrubby kick finds Darcy Cameron going up the line. Well done there. They find the man in Noel. Plays on quickly. Go further afield. That is Goulden. Has a brother at Sydney University. Does Errol Goulden, and Adam Goulden. His kick, it was looking for McLean. You just saw the breeze just push it out that side. They got it to forward 50, but it just drifted out. We'll have a throw in right on that forward 50 out.
Yeah, you mentioned Errol Goulden. He's a bit of a gun. He looked like he's very much in the eyes of drafters. He All-Australian under-16 last year. Throw in. Swans with a chance. Rose overruns it. Comes back to Bastanak. Now hacked out by Brisbane. And once again sailing very close to the boundary line. In fact, by a couple of metres it goes over the boundary line. Another one out in the full. So we are going to see plenty of that.
Yeah, a lot of spectators in front of us here at South Pine Sports Complex, and I think the play's going to be over the other side, so we might see a few of them migrate over there as the afternoon progresses. Not as much breeze. The kick from the Swans, that's just faded right out of bounds as well.
So I think they're going to start to realise very quickly that you can't hug the boundary line on the outer side.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. He's one of the men that'll be in the frame for Mitch Robinson's position. That's Josh Walker. Little kick doesn't hit its target. He was looking for Lyons. Wicks sweeps on it. He can have a shot at goal. And that hits the post. It was nearly going to be the perfect start for the Swans there. Couldn't quite get the swing of it in between the goal posts and get underway. Jacob Allison.
Yeah, long kick predictably by Jacob Allison. He's a great kick of the footy. Off hands. Swans with a chance. James Bell, smooth mover. Taps it on. He tackles his opponent in Fullerton into the ground. The ball stuck underneath him, and we're going to get a ball up here. Umpire comes in and says, yes, indeed, we'll ball it up on the outer wing. Umpires for today, Nick McGuinness, Chris Mellon and Aaron Langdon. It's umpire McGuinness with the ball in his hand at the moment. Slap down there for Brisbane. Once again, Bell gets his hands on the ball, but he's buffeted off it. It's going to come back out. Hooked forward. The Swans with another chance. Just tracking it, letting it bounce there. It was Mitch Hinge. Then overrun it. The Swans actually putting a lot of pressure on. Hinge gets involved again, shoots a handball out, misses Louis Taylor. Eli Smith tackles his opponent. Could have been a free kick without the ball. Naismith does well, gets a handball out to Rose. He puts it up high. It's going out towards the outer side. Once again, Allison, and a spearing ball finds a teammate.
Yeah, the teammate is Reece Matheson. He just holds it up on that outer side. Not sure where to go, so he just goes back and goes long down the line. Archie Smith is there. Big fly from the back. Couldn't bring it down. The Swans might be able to pick it up, but they can't. Robertson, quick handball. Gets it off to Bastanak and rolls it through. So good forward pressure there from the Lions results in the first goal of the game.
Yeah, really good stuff, and that came from the tackling effort of Cedric Cox. He's just come straight to the bench after that. You'll see it on the NEAFL TV replay. Great tackle, and just dislodged the ball. Gave the loose ball to Brisbane inside forward 50. That's exactly what the Brisbane coaching staff would be looking for, that intent.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess forward pressure is one thing, but the pressure around the contest is that one all across the ground. We saw Cedric Cox, a couple of bounces down this commentary wing earlier on. He's going to be one of those ones. Is in the frame, and he came out of the side for last night's clash with Richmond just the same.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Kangaroo. He's got that smooth moving skill as well, but he's got some pace, and if Mitch Robinson, who's had an outstanding season in the AFL side on the wing, is going to be replaced, you'd have to think that Cedric Cox is in the conversation. Umpire Mellon bangs it down in the middle of South Pine Sports Complex. Archie Smith gets it down. Bastanak, Eli Smith, spearing ball into centre half forward. It's a really good effort there. The Swans will take it away. James Rose, he's got the runners on. Gets the handball away to foot. He's tackled off it again. Once again, the pressure is enormous from the Lions. Corey Lyons, in fact, bounces it over to Nick Robertson. He gets the ball over now. Fullerton, let's go from Fiddy, and just misses to the right. 1-1-7 plays one behind. 6 minutes gone first term.
Well, it doesn't look like distance is a problem. It's just more that accuracy with that breeze pushing across the ground. As McInerney brings the ball back in, the kick is not as good as he would have liked, or that of his target, Darcy Cameron. So in front of the scoreboard, we see that after 6.5 minutes, it's 1-1-7 Brisbane. Sydney, the one behind, hit the post. Been a good start there. Naismith gets it down. Just emerging with the ball. That time was Goulden. And his kick smothered and just goes over the boundary line. Already Ryan Bastanak, 4 disposals.
He's been prolific this year.
Go with that first goal. Smith gets it down. Taylor. Feeds a quick one out. Eli Smith likewise. And that's from Lyons. That looked touched off the boot, and I know there's a bit of protesting going on, but the umpire says that's fair game. Ended up with Connor McFadyen.
Yeah, look, it was a beautiful ball, and once again, just that direct target of the forward, and he was in front. Beautiful kick, well honoured lead.
I do agree with the Swans players. It did look touched to me through my binoculars. You're going to have to start this at the left goal post, I'd think. Not going to get a good angle on it. However, he started it nowhere near where I thought he should have, at least.
You can just see on the right of screen, there's a small set of flags just to the right of the goal post, and you can see them absolutely belting straight behind. So that's the direction in which the ball is going. And just trying to retrieve that ball now, so the Swans can actually bring it back in. Somebody souvenired one already, have they?
Might be a week away, given the breeze is humming that far.
Taking it down to South Pine River. So the Swans will have the free kick in the back pocket. Just playing on nicely. Geddes. That's a nice mark too. Just in front of the scoreboard. Doing it well. McLean. It's a kick down the wing. It's, once again, it just wobbles in the air, fisted away from Brisbane. It ends up in the hands of Louis Taylor. Uses his left foot to effect. It's a 2-on-1. It was well done again. Good effort there by Brewer. Got the handball out. Now Bell. He's just hacked it down the middle, and Eagles just tracking it back. Gets a bit of a hand. Keeps going, does Matt Eagles, the recruit, and that's a 2-metre kick that fell into the hands of Walker. Another kick to half forward. Once again, the Swans through McInerney, get it down to ground. It's underneath bodies, and we'll have another ball up. So every time the Swans repel at the moment, they're just basically banging it out, and it's coming back in.
Yeah, that's right. Brisbane just set up so well in defence. Got some really good, big-bodied, experienced defenders. Archie Smith gets it from the ruck stoppage. Brewer. In fact, it was Thorne who was met very heavily. Just inside forward 50. The little kick came out, and it found Fullerton. Might have been from Hinge, possibly. The kick, we'll see it on the replay in just a moment. But Tom Fullerton, second shot at goal already. Project player, came from basketball.
He's a smooth mover. He's kicked 18 goals for the year.
Sunshine Coast boy from Caloundra. Up there. Goes forward, kicks it from about 45 and sits it on the breeze nicely. So Fullerton adds Brisbane second. And after a little over 10 minutes, they move to 2-1-13. The Sydney Swans just the one behind.
And that is taking your chances, something the Lions didn't do last night. We'll have a look on the replay of the actual kicking style of Tom Fullerton. He did it well because, as we've said, the breeze is howling basically across the front of him there. He aimed for the left goal post, and that's probably the minimum you have to aim for in this breeze, Kanga. Rode the breeze, as you called, beautifully, and gets the Lions' second goal. Now you can see, well, actually, in the background, on the other side of the field behind the scoreboard, you've actually got a few whirlwinds and stuff as well. So dust aplenty. Dust aplenty around southeast Queensland, of course, over the last few days with the bushfires and the westerlies blowing all of that topsoil in. So we hope the farmers do get some water, some rain very shortly. It's a good contest in the middle. Tracking the ball again. Was beautifully done out of the middle by Wooler. Now it ends up over the other side. Here's Taylor, kicks it to right half forward. Once again, the Swannies. They get to the ball first, but the Lions are wrapping them up. Ben Keys, the tackler on that occasion. The umpire comes in. We'll have another ball up inside 50.
Yeah, just finalising that. There's drought in plenty of places, particularly across New South Wales and Queensland at the moment, so plenty of rain hoped for, and everybody staying safe out of the fires, particularly around southeast Queensland at the moment too. Play goes on. That's James Bell, gets a quick kick away. That's fading on the breeze. Takes a right turn, but it stays in. Big Jack Payne lobs it up, but that's over the line. And like a kite, that has just gone.
It is floating, isn't it? just floating over the line at every opportunity. Do not get it close to the outer boundary line. So McKellar kicks it long down the line. Brings it back inside. It's McInerney. He's got the blue boots on. Has McInerney today. That's a nice right shoot. Kicks it towards half forward, but once again the Lions just peel off. Josh Walker just nudged his man underneath the ball. Took a nice saving mark. He's going to go with the long kick again down the line. Hakamarti flies, spoils, did beautifully over the top and takes it over the boundary line. Another throw in, just forward of centre wing on the outer side. It's the Lions leading by 2 straight goals after 13 minutes of the first term.
Good to see coming in downstairs. Plenty of AFL players from the Lions who were in action last night in attendance.
They do tend to do that consistently. They have done it consistently across the years, come and attend the NEAFL games and back their fellow squad members.
I know the Swans are very much of the same ilk. Darcy Cameron, little kick out there, Bell, out of foot. He put it on exactly that, and it was Matt Eagles that got back. He was there with McLean. The 241s going at it. Both big boys, I might add.
Yeah, very big boys. Harry McLean, 193 centimetres. He's got 97 odd kilos on him.
Yeah, and Eagles, 200 and 101. So 2 big sacks. So Ballenden down the line. Armati just couldn't handle the kick. Get back on it. McInerney just trying to find a way through. And now he's in trouble. That's gone for mine. Umpire agrees. It'll be Tommy Berry with the free kick.
Yeah, he's very much the same ilk as his brother Jared. He harder than the cat's head, but this gets the kick smothered off the mark. He goes back and tries to make amends for that. Gets tackled into the ground. It was well done by McKellar. We'll have another ball up, just short of right half forward. The Lions, when the ball just pressed over on that other side of the field, plenty of breeze pushing from this side straight over to the other side of the field. It's hacked out of Congested. Inside 50 for Brisbane. Big fly. Once again, Amati in the front position did beautifully. Was handballed out there by McFadyen. Umpires called a free kick here, and Matheson, well, he loves getting a free kick, does Reece Matheson.
I'll be interested to see that one on the replay, if we can get that one when we have a break in play, because I think he just buckled at the knees.
The Geelong genuflect, he's very good at it. Kicks it to the top of the square. It was ill-directed and well read. Swans defence, Michael Noel takes the mark.
Big boy Noel, of course,
he's huge.
Mid-season recruit from South Adelaide, I think he was,
yes.
Straight off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's that replay. Just had a bit of a quick look at it, Kangaroo. He did sort of buckle at the knees a tad, but he's very good at that.
He certainly went down. This is Ballenden with the ball. Goes out to the pocket. Fullerton was right there. Right to the line. That will be over. Toby Pink happy to take it over the line. And then he will go very quickly back to that outer side again.
It was a 3-on-2 there. He kicked to the Lions, of course, with the numerical advantage. James Rose makes a mockery of that, picks it up and hooks it back. And you saw the ball just sit up in the breeze. It was well done by Pierce Roseby to sit underneath that. Now he gets the right shoe to it. Kicks it in the Bell direction. Matt Eagles floats across the front. Too big, too strong. James Bell just not advantaged by that kick at all. Nice lateral one from Eagles. Gives it to Robertson. Robertson now. Oh, kicks the oozle. Inside 50, but it's ill-directed. And Toby Pink takes the mark. Nick Robertson just loads up with the torp from half-back.
Yeah, just he didn't have an option further downfield, but probably need to push back inside or something, because he just... It was always going to be a turnover. Little kick there from the big boy in Darcy Cameron. Finds a target. Zach Foot. Might be Zach Foot out there. Yes, it is. Goes out wide. Walker couldn't handle it. Putting himself in there is Wooler. We'll have a ball up. I said a bit difficult for commentators today. All the play on the other side, so we've always got our binoculars right up there and going at it. So we'll just urge them to bring it a bit closer to the commentary position over here.
Umpire throws it up. It's towed off the deck, Matheson, and unfortunately goes over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in front of the scoreboard. shows the Brisbane Lions leading by 13 points with 17 gone in the first term. This is NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
And, of course, the grand final next week. Let's focus on that. The winner will go through and play Southport. That'll be down at Fancow's Reserve on the Gold Coast.
Oh, that'll be an interesting time there as well at the Cabana Bar. But nice mark taken there by Cody Hurst, another one of those mid-season rookie draft players. Taken at number 16. He goes to the outer side, slightly ill-directed. Couldn't be taken there by Payne. It's kicked inside forward 50 for the Swans, or just up to half forward. It was a 3-on-1. Once again, the Swans are going to have a crack at it. Allison still on the ground after that contest. It was really well done.
It was Roseby.
It was Pierce Roseby who basically got up with the ball. He basically was so outnumbered he should have lost that contest.
Yeah, he did. So Rose just comes through. Well tackled out there. And he will be penalised. And it's Tommy Berry who'll get up with it. It's a lovely tackle. Good defensive pressure from Brisbane there. James Rose, a wonderful player at NEAFL level. Starved of opportunities at AFL level. Naismith, awkward looking kick from the big man. Leicester with the spoil, went again hard. Coming back the other way, Wicks couldn't make any contact. Hinge gets a quick handball out. Matheson pushed as he went to dispose of it. Play on's the call. Amadi comes back the other way. McLean couldn't handle it. Payne was right there. Berry and Rose are there again. Berry just handballs in front of him. And out of play it goes, so we'll have a ball up. Not a lot of fluent play so far in this contest, Pricey.
Must make it difficult. Well, you know yourself, when you just the ball drop is difficult when the wind is swirling as hard as it is. So accuracy, very difficult. There's a big flyer from Naismith, got it down, but straight into the arms of Ballenden. He gets it back to Leicester, who hoiks it forward. Good spoil from McKellar. Comes to ground, underneath the bodies again. Both teams, you'd think, will keep very tight. It will open up eventually.
That's right. Quickly, clearance is going Brisbane's way 8-6, and inside 50 is 11-3 Brisbane's way as well.
Naismith gets it down. Cutler tracks it over the line. Another throw in, outer side. The ball has basically lived for most of the 19.5 minutes of this first quarter.
Matheson with 6 disposals, and Darcy Cameron and Goulden leading Sydney with 4 apiece. Naismith gets it down. Just going hard at the ball was Corey Lyons. We'll get that all day from him. Wicks was right there with him. Ball at ground level. Lyons fed it out. Oh, got it fed out, I should say. 2 lines by Matheson. Then he kicked it out on the full. So McKellar will be the man who can bring it back in. Spots a target short, and that target slips over, and it made it very easy for Tom Cutler. It was Foot, the man that was unsure of just that. Cutler goes long. Over the top was Geddes, and he gives away the free kick. So it'll come back to Cedric Cox, inside forward 50. Looking for a square up. I wonder whether he's going to go for it.
It'd be almost impossible to kick it from there, surely. You're kicking into almost the teeth of the breeze.
He sits it up in the goal square over the top of the tall timber. Skinner and Fullerton were the 2 targets there. Marty Pink amongst other ones, and Naismith getting back to help out. So 1 point results.
So the ball's coming back in via McInerney. It's a good shepherd to keep the Lions player at bay. That's a good, strong mark. Go back in there from Starcevic. Big pack of players. It comes off hands. Once again, McInerney gets the ball out. Noel, tackled. Shoots the handball. Walker intercepts. Skinner, under enormous pressure. Skinner again, tackled. Lets loose the ball. The Swans with a chance. Tackling effort for Brisbane, very, very good. As Matheson goes in, puts his head down, bobs back up. And the umpire says, we'll have another ball up 40 metres out. And you can see the dust blowing wildly on the screens here at NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Swirly breeze at South Pine.
Ballenden took front spot there. Matheson at ground level. Umpire will blow that one up again. Doesn't help for the fact that there's big piles of dirt sitting out the back just the same.
Yeah, too true.
It just does illustrate that the dirt is very much there. Naismith got it down, and Sydney just clear the area. Leading the charge is Matt Eagles. Has Payne inside for support. Has to get it on the second bite of the cherry. Just squares up and decides to go down the line. That is not his best effort by foot. Allison gives it back to him to have another go. Little tiny left footer finds Walker on that outer wing. Has a bit of room to move now. Gives it the heave. It's inside forward 50. Ballenden has a run at it and then crunches his opponent on the way through. Cox, Archie Smith, Skinner just feeds it back. They're just looking for a way through here. Cox just feeds it up. It smacks Wooler in the head after the bounce. McInerney right there with him. Ball at ground level. Taylor has his kick smothered. Plenty of bodies around the contest. I don't think it's going to come out of there, and it will be tied up. Have a ball up. What about the Falcon?
The face Falcon from Toby Wooler.
Yeah, off the ground. A little bit rough, but that's the way. Don't try and catch it with your face.
Well, that's a fair thing. Now, there's been a free kick called here, and it's going to go against Brisbane. It'll go against Archie Smith and go to Sam Naismith. And the ruck infringement. Handball back to Wicks now. He was pressured, so it's a bit of a wobbling kick. It was well read by Walker, but he dropped a bit of a pud. Ball hits the deck. Allison dived on it. He was dived on. Swans were appealing, so it got squeezed out. It's going to end up in the hands of Brisbane now. Ryan Lester, the veteran, from 70 metres. Tries to drill a pass. Naismith does well to actually pick it up on the half volley. Half tackled now. Foot gets it out to Bell. Bell on the right shoe looking for somebody, but no, nothing there. And Lions will repel Louis Taylor again. He's coming out to this side and finds Brandon Starcevich.
Yeah, it's actually Wooler that one.
Oh, Woolley, sorry, Toby Wooler.
Yep. And then we're going to go to Bastanak now. So Bastanak just off the one step, hoists it high. Nobody underneath it. So it bounces, and then Naismith just tries to clear it out of the area. Allison beats the first tackle, gives it to Taylor quickly from ground level. Goes out wide. Cutler couldn't handle it. McFadyen. And there's a free kick off the ball because it was Cutler who was just trying to shake the tackle of his opponent. And he held on and threw him down afterwards, so he'll win the free kick. It's Nick Brewer.
He's got a chance now to extract the ball. You see the flags just next to him with the breeze blowing straight across the paddock. Front and square is Brisbane. Nice kick. It goes in. Reece Matheson takes the mark in front of Nick Brewer. He wants to play on reasonably quickly. Gets it to the square. Cox at the back, and it was nicely spoiled by Toby Pink. That went through for a behind. So they're getting the ball in there, Brisbane. But the Swans repelling at every opportunity. 2-4-16 plays one behind. 25 minutes gone of the first term on NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
Well, Matheson's been very busy. Already 3 clearances for his 8 disposals. As McInerney takes it out wide, and that's out on the full from the kick in. We're going to see a little bit more of that yet today. Walker gets it to Lester. Feeds it back to Eagles. Sees the target square. That's not a bad kick. Finds Starcevich. Far from the middle of South Pine Sports Complex here, northern suburbs of Brisbane. Little chipping ball finds Lions. And that is a nice little pass. Just around the corner. Hit it sweetly onto the chest of Ryan Bastanak.
He's had a cracker of a year, Ryan Bastanak. He's 164 odd AFL games. He's had 19 goals, member of the team of the year for the NEAFL as well. He's done everything that the Lions have asked him after they delisted him, then rookie listed him back into the squad.
The question is, will he win a recall next week and will he be on the list next year? Comes in though. We'll worry about the time at hand, and that make hay while the sun shines, and that's 2 for him in the first quarter. 7 disposals, a clearance, and now 2 goals. Lions third. They move to 3-4-22, and that is a good conveyance that we're seeing on the replay screen, thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV.
And there's the flags on this side of the ground. So you see the Lions fans holding those flags up on the Bar TV pictures, and that is the strength of the breeze going basically directly across the ground. So that's why you're seeing a few missed kicks and a lot of the play over the outer side.
Inside 50s, 18-3. So that just says about the dominance of Brisbane. possessions 90 to 55. Leading possession getters for Sydney is McInerney with 6 and Cameron with 5.
It's been a good performance by the Lions so far. They've been the dominant side all year here in the NEAFL. Naismith gets it down Rose. Could have caught one high. The ball stuck underneath him. Umpire says no. Eli Smith gets off him. James Rose gets up. Had a great day last week. Had 28 disposals, 10 tackles, and kicked a couple of goals in the first final for the Swans. It gets up there. This Starcevic takes the mark for Brisbane in front of Roseby.
Well, that's just where I think the forwards just need to be in front for Sydney. And that's basic football. And we know the ball's dropping a bit short as we see an errant kick.
Yeah, that's ordinary. Foot, though, breaks the tackle of Eagles, puts a bit of speed on, gets away from Corey Lyons, has a bounce, takes the game on. Well done, gets the handball over the top to Thorne, curls one around. Ball was dropped there. Martin, it was. Now it's loose, the Lions. Well, they've got plenty of options. Hinge gets absolutely crunched by Foot. I don't know about the 50, or wasn't it?
Yeah, we might see a replay of that one, I think, if we could. But for me, I didn't think it was horribly late or horribly untoward.
Yeah, we'll just have a bit of a look. The kick stepped up. Oh, mightn't have been, yeah, sorry. It was actually Michael Knoll who got him, and we'll get down to the other end as Toby Wooler kicks it to the goal square. And Marty once again. He's been a bit of a rock there as the Swans get out. McLean now goes to the outer side. And once again, if it ball doesn't hit the target, it just evaded Errol Goulden there. If it doesn't hit the target and then bounces, it will roll towards the boundary and go over.
Yeah, nothing surer. A day like today, worked there by Van Hoysted as well. Missed the grand final yesterday with his local club, so we could take the opportunity at NEAFL level with Newcastle City. Hello to all those people at Newcastle City. Hope yesterday went well. I haven't done my research on that one. I do apologise, but
that's dedication.
Hope you might have got the chocolates.
Dedicated young man.
Yeah, Van Hoysted. He was the rising star of in the league last year. I'll get a bit more of that as he maybe gets a couple more possessions later on. Armadi attacks the ball, then follows it up, and then he's just offloaded with a tackle by Tom Fullerton. Fullerton gives it to Jacob Allison, sporting a lovely Grizzly Adams beard just at the moment. Pink just gets it out, goes towards the boundary line, but kept in by Eli Smith. The Lions, quick bounce inside forward 50, just tries to square the ball up. Keys just palmed his opponent off in the face. And it was Barkley that wins the free kick. Well done by him.
Rory Barkley goes to the outer side yet again. Thought McLean could have been held there. Once again, the Lions at the back have all the numbers. Eagles is just going to mop up, shoots a handball out. Taylor in the middle. Now he goes to the true middle. See the ball hold up there. Brandon Starcevic takes it sort of semi-smothered, but gets to Fullerton. Just methodically moving the ball around Brisbane. Oh, he's going to have to... Well, let's see what he can do here to entertain the crowd here at South Pine Sports Complex. Tom Fullerton have to kick this 75. What do you reckon?
You've got long levers there. That might help.
Let's give it a pearl. And that's a good effort. Goes to the top of the square. They let it bounce. Tell you what, if it was a close game and then there's a point decided it, there was 4 Swans sitting there. I thought that was pretty ordinary. They should have stopped that. But anyway, it's a behind. 3-4-22 plays one behind.
Well, Brisbane have had all the play, haven't they, in that first quarter? I mean, they lead by some 22 points at the first change, but it's been hard going out there. There's no doubt about it. And I suppose those hard ball gets and those in around the contest, but Sydney have really struggled to take it forward, but every time they have taken it forward, it's the experience and the setup of Brisbane. They've just been able to not only cut it off, but really repel it in. Inside 50s, 22-4 at quarter time, and that is just a mountain of football in anybody's language. Brisbane are plus 41 in disposals and plus 8 in marks. The hit-outs are pretty close at 13-10 Brisbane's way, so Archie Smith and also the big boy in Ballenden have done quite well there. Clearance is also 11-9. So just camped out in that forward half of Brisbane. Brisbane haven't taken advantage. We're going to see what the Sydney Swans can actually do with, I suppose, if there is some breeze going down that way, or if there is any advantage down to that northern end.
So we're having a look now, and I'm just got the binoculars on those flags that are on the outer side, and it does seem to now, instead of it is swirling. I thought it was favouring the right of screen to start with, and now it seems to have been favouring the left of screen. So we'll see how it works out in the second quarter and see if the Swans can get some kind of advantage. 3-5-23 to one behind, 22 points the margin. Bastonak's got a couple for Brisbane. Fullerton's got the third. The Swans yet to score a goal, only the one behind. We'll be back with the second quarter here at South Pine Sports Complex for NEAFL preliminary final one on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. And welcome back to South Pine Sports Complex. It's NEAFL preliminary final one for 2019. It is the Brisbane Lions against the Sydney Swans at quarter time. Brisbane 3-5-23. The Swans one behind, and Mark Kanga Kennedy calling the game with myself, Michael Price. Mate, the one behind that Sydney scored was in the first couple of minutes of the game, and the ball was just camped in the forward 50 for Brisbane for the rest of it.
Yeah, it was, and it was very unlucky not to be a goal from Sam Wicks there, just hit the post. But by the same token, it has been all Brisbane, 22-4 inside 50. So it's a dominant display, and we're going to see what Sydney have got here and whether the breeze is a little bit fluky out there and it's pushing across the ground. But we're actually going to, I suppose, get a better indication if Sydney have some sort of advantage in this quarter with the breeze.
Because we know it did swirl to the right to start with, but then it went left halfway through that first quarter. So, look, we'll have a look at it and see which way the ball's going to fall. The umpire holds the ball aloft, umpire McGuinness. And we'll get started with the second quarter. Archie Smith's going to go up against Sam Naismith here for the Sydney Swans. Smith goes basically unattended. Bastanak tried the around the back trick. Berry gets it back. Lester, handball to Smith. Naismith puts him on his backside, then goes to get the ball. McInerney back to James Bell. Long kick inside 50. Off the hands of Eagles. It's roved there nicely by Thorne. He's tackled into the ground. Let's loose the ball. Let's see what the Swans can do inside 50 with the ball on the deck. Wicks tackled into the ground. Ball comes out. Outside of the right shoe for Sydney. Touched off the boot. One behind. It was through for all money, but touched off the boot. One behind, and Brisbane play on quickly.
Well, it's a near miss, just like the first quarter. And that man, Sam Wicks, is out there. Takes a bit of, I suppose, undue attention from Reece Matheson. He's out on the boundary line, gives him a shove, waiting for the ball to come back into play. 21 points the margin. Naismith gets it down. Bell probably copped a high one the first contact. Umpire says no. Have a ball up there. Just like the way he moves, James Bell.
Oh, he's a smooth mover. He and Cedric Cox, very smooth movers in this game today.
They are. McInerney gets a quick handball down. Gets it back from Wicks. Rose gets around one. Just lobs it around on the left. Sits it up. And you saw that just hold up in the breeze. And Ryan Lester did well. A, to judge it, and B, to get the hands around it.
See, the ball was actually not a bad conveyance towards Michael Nolan. You can see Lester goes out wide, and the breeze pushes it out of bounds on the full. So it's coming back for the Swans. Let's see what they can do here. That's a long kick. Holds up in the breeze, though. At the back, McLean, front and square. Some really good work from Hurst. And the kick towards the top of the square and across the face. Josh Walker appealing for a free kick. Nothing happening. The Swans with the first two scores of this second quarter, but they're both behinds.
So, going well, they're peppering. Jacob Allison sees a target up the middle of the ground. Nick Robertson it was, but it comes back from Parks. Inside forward 50 and just back there and helping out the defence is Ryan Bastanak.
He's certainly pushing his case, isn't he?
Sweet possession number 8 for him. A couple of goals as well to his name. It's not a bad kick, although Ballandon couldn't handle it. Cutler is very close to the boundary line and out it goes. So Sydney only had 4 inside 50s at quarter time. They've already had 4 in the second quarter, and we're but 2.5 minutes into this second quarter.
That's a fair start, but they've got to take their chances when they get them. 3 behinds to start the game. Naismith gets it down. Bell, Rose, onto the left foot, inside 50. Bounces away from Walker. McLean ushers the ball over the boundary line, and we'll get a throw in. And once again on NEAFL TV, you see those flags on screen just in front of the boundary umpire, and that shows you the strength of the breeze that's pushing towards the left of screen and across, so makes it very difficult. This is sort of like dead man's pocket. Throw in, very short, even for boundary umpires. Louis Taylor hacks it up. Bastanak can't pick it up. Hinge can. Gets through a little bit of traffic. Puts it onto the right boot. Sails towards the boundary line, and they try to keep it in Sydney. In fact, they do. Van Hoysted's over there. Eventually, that's just handed out by Hinge, Dusty Martin style last night. If you had a look at it, dummy half work. It bounces towards the boundary line. We'll get a throw in.
Brisbane have done well to move it up the line. Yeah, it was a little bit handsy, wasn't it?
A bit handsy?
Yes.
You can just see there must be more fires happening here around the Moreton Bay area. We've got some smoke over the back now, as well as the dust and the wind to deal with.
Just roving that beautifully off the contest with James Bell. Inside forward 50, McLean. Just got his hands up, and it just travelling at such pace, it went through them. We'll have another throw up. Ball in, I should say. And as good to see the couple of Swannies flags in the background as we're having a look at a bit of the smoke.
It's all happening here in southeast Queensland at the moment. There's some people really suffering with these massive westerly winds and the droughty conditions. Walker gets the handball out now. Louis Taylor chips it out. It was well read there, nicely done by Luke Parks, the laid in. They get it back now. Parks goes again, gets belted as he kicks it though. It's going to come back out for Brisbane. Amati is doing very well against Ballon at the moment. Goes back and reads it well. Involves his teammate. Slightly misses him, but McKellar's got plenty of time to pick the ball back up. Goes to right half back, finds Toby Pink. So that was a good defensive effort from the Swans. They set up well.
But they did. It probably just suggests that that breeze really is going down to where the Swans are kicking. Brewer picks it up. It's an ugly looking kick inside forward 50. Darcy Cameron couldn't handle it. Eagles, quick handball under pressure. Got to Bastanak, now to Louis Taylor. Just try and measure it to Nick Robertson. Does well. He's got it in front of Barkley. Chipping ball finds Reece Matheson. So they'll just try and, you'd think, eke the ball forward rather than just sit it up in the breeze and forward. Little ball finds Bastanak, just goes the required distance.
Well, if you think you're going to score to the right of screen, it really should be from this side of the field, shouldn't it, as you're carrying the breeze through?
Yeah, that's right. Wooler was going to come to this commentary area, but there was an interchange there. Oh, there was a little kick there that just found Leicester. A little one in Louis Taylor in the centre square, but they just lob it up to Bastanak. Just racking up plenty of champion data stats there, the boys. Oh, number 10 for Bastanak already.
Only gone the 15 metres until that kick. It was nicely taken by Berry. He's a good player. I wonder what the Berry mum and dad fed these kids, because that dead set, there must have been cement part of it. Sam Wicks, he does beautifully. Gets out of the traffic, lobs a kick up. It just fell short. It was Rossman who couldn't quite take it. Cox gets a handball out. Now McInerney. I know that comes back, whistle on play. It was a high shot. Umpire says there was a high tackle involved. Louis Taylor is the recipient. Looks like it's going against Sam Wicks and it'll be a free kick. So Louis Taylor's got a chance. Having a look at it there. Yeah, it was actually the second one. Sam Wicks come in the second effort was the one you see on the Bar TV replay.
They both slid up a little bit high.
Yeah. So Louis Taylor from 45 looks for the first goal to this right of screen and gets it. That's the way you've got to aim to the right goalpost at the right of screen. So it's the fourth goal for the Brisbane Lions and they extend their lead. 4-5-29 plays 3 behinds, 26 points to the margin, and we've played 7.5 minutes. That's the way to kick him, Kanga, just exactly as you see on the replay.
Yeah, low and hard, wasn't it? And you didn't see it being set up on the breeze at all. It was very much trying to pierce into that breeze and take it as much effect away from it to get as much distance as you possibly can. We see those flags still really going bananas, if you like.
So we definitely established that the breeze is cutting across the ground, but it is favouring our left of screen, and that was the first goal scored to the right of screen. Sydney only scored the one behind in the first quarter.
So 26 points now the margin. Played a little over 8 minutes of this second quarter. Out here, the winner going through to the grand final to play Southport. Down at Fankau's Reserve on Southport's dung heap. Naismith took it from the ruck and just thumped it forward. Goes up towards the big boy in Noel, who lays a good tackle on Starcevic. And we'll have a ball up, so that's not a bad restart from Sydney to push it straight down there.
I think the boys in the Cabana Bar might be a bit offended with dung heap. Anyway, Brisbane get it out. Fullerton, oh, it's a good fly. Roseby gets in there. He's tackled into the ground strongly. And Skinner gets up.
And once upon a time, Southport's home ground used to be a dump about 30, 40
exactly
years ago.
Right.
Yeah, oh, well, dung heap. It fits still.
Yeah, well, it's still there.
It's a better looking dung heap these days.
Multi-million-dollar dung heap as it goes down the middle of the ground. Eli Smith, he's got the left foot, kicks it towards Robertson, who gets rid of his opponent there in McKellar. Ball bounces freely. McKellar comes in and repays. Robertson gets the ball out to Keys. Handball now Walker. Yes, it's back to Wooler. Back to Walker. Good smothering effort there from Roseby. Wins the ball for the Swans. They get it down the outer side. Oh, that's a good juggling mark. Has it been paid there?
No, he didn't pay it.
Touched off the boot, it was.
Jack Payne, it was.
Jack Payne touched off the boot and therefore held up. Umpire McGuinness going to throw it up.
Had to be touched before it got to him because I thought he got it. Naismith out of the ruck again. Well done. McLean couldn't quite handle it. Payne was right there with him. Eagles likewise. And Eagles is happy to run it over the boundary line and then lay right on top of McLean. And he's not happy, McLean, because he's feeling for his head. Matt Eagles. Big lump of a lad, Matt Eagles is. Just
he's not well.
Not well at all.
Oh, geez, he's not well. Yeah, we might have a look at that. It's on the Bar TV replay. Just got down through there. He's tackled. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's sort of come down. You can see he tackles there, Matt Eagles, and as he comes down, his head's just gone bang, straight back on the ground, and it's a hard deck here at South Pine Sports Reserve, and oh, gee whiz. I don't think it's good for Hayden McLean. He had 3 goals last week. He was instrumental in them coming back in that great win against Sydney Uni. But he's not looking fantastic at the moment, the poor bugger. That was just unfortunate.
4 games at AFL level this year. And boy from Sandringham.
He was in the pre-season at South Adelaide, and they basically plucked him out of there as he was starting the pre-season to join the Swans, and there's some significant concern.
He really came down hard, and he actually tried to pull Matt Eagles, use his own weight to pull Matt Eagles back and down. Such is the size of Matt Eagles, and in the finish it was to his own detriment, wasn't it?
100 kilos straight back on him.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh dear, so we'll have a break in the game here. It's 11 and a half minutes gone of the second term. We're all concerned about what's going on with Hayden McLean, who's copped it looks a definite concussion issue as his head slammed backwards into the turf, and it's on the boundary line side, so it'll be nice and dusty on the boundary area. We see the Lions and the Swans have separated into huddles here. Doctors, that's a good sign. They've got him to sit up. Well, that's great. That's good news. Well done to the doctors, and you can see from the cameras here, there was even the Lions officials looking on with concern.
Yeah, that's right.
And, they've got him to his feet now. That's fantastic.
And again, it was no fault of Matty Eagles. He was just doing his thing. And he's a little bit ginger, there's no doubt, and a little bit groggy.
You'd have to think that might be him for the day, Kanga. He tried to get up, and he got the wobbly boots on, and they're taking him off around the boundary line.
Yeah, and Matt Eagles actually going over to him just at the moment, just to wish him well.
That's good sportsmanship from Matt Eagles. That's class. And we wish Hayden McLean all the best.
They'll just have to wait until he gets back through in a position of no harm there, even though he is off the ground. Have to wait for him to get him into that interchange type area so they can have a restart to this game. So that'll really extend this quarter, obviously. And we've had this long stoppage, but Brisbane at 26 points up at the moment. Just while we're waiting for that, we might just run through a few key stats. McInerney for the Swans, he's had 10 disposals, 2 clearances, and Bell with 8, they lead, and then Bassanak and Taylor have had 11 and 10 respectively.
So restarting the game, the throw in, right forward pocket for the Swans. Can they do to respond? The ball goes in, the Barkley, he's tackled into the ground, right in front of the goal square. He gets up, and will it spark the Swans, or will it put a pin in the balloon? Barkley goes again, hacks it out of the goals, towards the goals, and one behind result. So that's the 4th behind for Sydney. They're trailing Brisbane 4-5-29, 25 points the margin.
Jacob Allison to bring the ball back in. See Hayden McLean, just his haunches there just at the moment, but with the doctors, as Allison brings it up the middle of South Pine Sports Complex. Just fades out to that outer side. Toby Pink, quick kick back the other way. Conor McFadyen just dove, or dived, if you like, for the ball, but out of it goes. And there's a throw in. People taking exception with Walker there, but nothing really untoward.
No, it's all good. It's all good in the Love and Wars. We see Hayden McLean actually comes up the race. He's coming into the dressing room, so they're giving he'll obviously be getting that concussion test as well. The ball with Josh Walker, who endeared himself to the Swans just a few seconds ago. He's going to go for the long kick down the outer side. Oh, Darcy Cameron. That's a really good mark. And that's what he can do when he's in red-hot form, Darcy Cameron. He's been injury-prone. He was runner-up in last year's MVP and member of the Team of the Year. Injury-prone this year. Long kick inside 50. Eagles. Can't quite take it. Oh, gee, that's really well done. Sam Wicks ends up with the ball. Long kick around the corner. Ends up being buffeted over the boundary line again by the Breeze, and it's out of bounds on the full free kick, Brisbane.
Yeah, just... Again, it's probably just this Breeze taking away from what would have been a wonderful spectacle as Ryan Lester just launches it forward. Ballenden jumped at it. Matheson, quick feed up, didn't find its target. Ballenden goes low hard. Pink just jumps on the player on the ground, just trying to tie the ball up, does so successfully. So half forward flank out of side, Swans attack. Gee, they dearly love a goal just to get themselves on the scoreboard from that point of view. It was touched off the boot, and it was Darcy Cameron that put it very close to the boundary line. We'll have another throw in.
32 kilometres an hour, the west to northwesterly breeze at the moment. Ganga whipping around South Pine Sports Complex with 25 degrees as well, so a little warm and windy.
Yeah, Michael Price with the Bureau of Meteorology at his beck and call.
Throw in there. It's well done by Ballenden, got it down against Michael Knoll. Ball stuck underneath several again. We'll do it all again with the ball up. James Bell hands the ball back to the ump.
And every player forward of centre.
Well, that's where the Breeze is pushing the ball. So it makes some sense as Louis Taylor kicks it off the deck. Bastonak controls it, having a very good game. He's looking for Fullerton. He's with Amati. Fullerton's showing a little bit more leg speed and urgency. Couldn't quite pick it up, and Amati ends up with the ball. So there you go. There's an abject lesson in, just running in second. He gets it to Darcy Cameron. Handball, chain of handballs. Misses Goulden in the end, and now the Brisbane Lions with a chance. James Rose interjects, and he gives it back there to Thorne. Thorne now to Cameron on a standing start. Kicks it into the pocket. There was a big fly there.
Rossman.
Was that Marco Rossman, the Swans Academy member, kicked a goal last week, and he almost took a cracker mark in the right forward pocket, but we'll have another ball up, throw in on the outer side.
And it comes. Noel and Ballenden give it to the latter, and James Rose lays a tackle, going nowhere. We'll do it again. I think we're going to have a lot of stoppages today. Clearances 18-16 Sydney's way. Just haven't been able to affect anything on the scoreboard so far. Noel gets it down. Matheson lays a tackle on Wicks, but it comes back to Bell. Bell on that left foot goes long. And once again, I think if you're the boundary umpire and you happen to be at that side of the ground, that outer side of the ground, you have earned every piece of coin, because you've got to use every muscle to throw it back in the 22 metres required.
About to say they have to step in a metre or so. That was really well done by Noel, who got rid of Smith and then propelled it forward. It's hacked again over the boundary line. Touched off the boot, though, and we'll get another throw in. So, as you say, they're really congested game as a result of the fact that the Breeze is making it very difficult to move the ball with any fluency and accuracy as well. Another big throw in. Smith versus Noel. Sorry, Ballenden versus Noel this time. Clearance, well, it's a bit of a draw. It ends up coming out with Eagles, though. Handball back to Allison. Allison, well, he's looking for Cutler. Takes the one grab. He was buffeted off it by Van Hoysted, who did well. Cutler escorts it over the boundary line. You see Tom Cutler very frustrated with himself there. He had an opportunity to take the one grabber, punch the ball as he handed it back to the boundary umpire. Very frustrated.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and the hard bit is he wouldn't be seeing a lot of ball at half forward because he's been forced to come right up the ground to get it. It goes to the back of the pack. Rose gets it around.
Ooh.
We know how dangerous he is in front of goal, and he actually hooked that one back too far. So James Rose, he is prolific at NEAFL level. As we said, just probably hasn't quite been able to really go on with it at AFL level. 5 games this year for 14 in total. The Swans now are at 24.
Allison to the outer side for Brisbane. Front and square, Leicester. Handball over the top, Fullerton. He tries to measure one. He kicks it. Well, you can't be measuring it today. That's out of bounds on the full yet again. You need a
deliberate. He's called deliberate.
He's
there.
called deliberate. Well, it was out in the full anyway. So deliberately out in the full?
Oh, I thought it bounced inside, so my apologies.
I was going to say, he had 50 cents each way, Kanga. The ball goes down again for Sydney, but the Lions with the numbers yet again. Payne gets it back to Allison. That's a cute little kick while being tackled. Walker back to Eagles. He's acting like the goalkeeper today. He's been doing that all season.
That he has. Gets a handball off to Cutler. Little quick one. Looking for Lions, but Bell gets in there. Moves smoothly. Gets the ball inside forward 50 and finds a target. So here is a golden opportunity for the Sydney Swans. Marco Rossman. The young man, Swans Academy member, kicked a goal last week too, Kanga, who's one of the players who contributed on the scoreboard when the Swans absolutely overran Sydney Uni towards the end of the game. So from the Eastern Sydney Bulldogs. See what he can do. Have a good look at this. On the left foot he comes. That is a lovely, lovely kick for the Swans first. And Marco Rossman, they get around him, and well they should, because 5 blemishes before they hit it through for a major. And that narrows the margin to 3 straight goals, and we see it on the replay. Hit it sweetly.
Just well struck, wasn't it?
Didn't try to kick the ball too hard. Knew distance wasn't an issue, and it was really about the fluency of technique through the ball.
And that's right. It's like, I like using golf analogies when you're playing footy as far as kicking for goal goes. If you try to belt the suitcase off it, it's going to land closer to you than you desire. And he just relaxed into that. Just a nice, casual swing and put his boot through it nicely, timed it nicely.
Well, I think there's 2 ways to look at it. You can either try and kick it too hard, or you actually just try and guide it and poke it, or go too soft at it. That firm, that nice thought process through the ball.
Umpire got the perfect bounce there, but both ruckmen missed it. Archie Smith goes back, gets the clearance, kicks it inside 50. Ballenden could have been taken on. Beautifully rove there by Parks. Got the handball away. Bell slung off it after he got rid of the handball. Toby Pink to the outside. That's a beautiful kick to the outside. Should have been taken. Allison goes in for Brisbane to try and extract it. Comes back out to the Swans player. And that player was Michael Knoll on the ground. The ball ends up getting kicked down the outer side. And once again, the breeze pushes it over. And it's going to be coming back. Kyle McKellar is going to have it for the Swans.
Well, the man involved there was Goulden. Did quite well. The Swans have it again here, so see where they're going to go. Long down the line. That's Wicks. Plenty of tall timber there. Cameron jumped at it, couldn't take it. Payne off to Allison. Little chain of handballs. McFadyen just says, let's get it out of here. Berry just tackles a man without the ball, so he'll give the free kick away. We'll go back to Sam Wicks, and he doesn't seem too happy with Tommy Berry.
Yeah, Tommy Berry likes a little bit of that stuff as well. He's an excellent player, though, Sam Wicks. Ball holds right up. It goes to 50. Oh, Darcy Cameron went for the massive fly. Slapped down there in the end by Michael Knoll, looking for somebody to crumb it. Went over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in. As you say, Kanga, the boundary umpires on the outer side, they have to rotate with the boys over this side because, quite frankly, the boys over the commentary side are doing nothing.
Well, when they do their rehab, usually they jump in the ice baths for their legs, but I might have to get them for the shoulders tonight because they're heaving the ball back in with a fair bit of purpose. That's a good mark there by Connor Ballenden. A little short target. Has McFadyen. Plays on quickly. He looks for one short as well. So they're eking the ball up the line. Reece Matheson this is. Goes back in board. Has Ballenden. prodigious kick of the footy generally, but nowhere near it. All the players just push back, so just runs off the mark, and he'll give it low and hard into the breeze, and that's well done. Cut off by McInerney, and away they go. Quick handball out, finds the late inclusion, and that was Rosebery. Little chain of handballs there. They turn it over. It was Foot that had it, and eventually Brisbane turn it back over. I was trying to hand it over to you, Pricey, to take it up, but a little bit of a comedy of errors there.
Bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, and Wicks will get up with the footy.
Umpire McGuinness has taken control as very, very slowly.
In fact, it's Hurst.
It's Cody Hurst gets up, and he was ridden by Tom Cutler in the end. So Cody Hurst, the other mid-season draftee, kicks it towards the top of the D, basically. Jack Payne comes out almost uncontested, and laterally comes out to Louis Taylor now. He's still inside defensive 50. Spears one towards Ballenden. He's got a leader in Nick Robertson. He's going to aim for him. Good strong mark. Got up and took it in front of his eyes. Amati was closing. He's got good closing speed for a defender, Joel Amati, and he's had an enormous season. And Nick Robertson comes down the line. Toby Pink favoured by that. Oh, over the top. Skinner stole it. Could have been paid the mark. Umpire, I think, probably made the right decision there, because I think Toby Pink had a fair bit of it and Skinner might have had the last bit of it. We'll just have a look at it on the NEAFL TV, Bar TV replay. Good fly. Yeah, I reckon that's actually not a bad decision from the ump. Well done, umpire McGuinness.
Wow, Naismith just saw the ball in the air and just heaved it. Goes out, Rosebery, and also Hinges there. Winning a free kick will be Hinge, as Rosebery took him to ground. Illegally, says the umpire. Chipping ball, middle of the ground, Toby Wooler.
Just starting to crack open a little bit, Kangaroo, isn't it? Just a little bit more free-flowing play.
Yeah, a little bit more play over this side of the ground too, which I don't mind.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, Matt Eagles finds McFadyen. I reckon Toby Pink was unlucky not to get the mark in that
man
contest,
in front,
by the way.
Man
in front. Little ball finds Robertson. In front of Parks, late inclusion. If you've just joined us, Riley Stoddart and Matthew Ling. Late withdrawals. Nick Robinson goes down the line. Ballenden, I should say, had his name written all over it, even if I didn't write it initially on it. And just lobs the ball up in the air. It goes with the breeze. Brisbane have the numbers. Tommy Berry assisted by the tackle. He's back. Eli Smith and Swans get back in numbers, and Sam Thorne away. Van Hoysted back to Thorne. Young academy players combining. They get it up to the wing. But just standing there is Jack Payne, and big man mountain Jack Payne is as well. So he gets in the way. 197 centimetres and 101 kilos of him.
Gee, he's a big boy. And it was nil-directed kick. Mitch Hinge gets this one from Payne, though. Used his left foot to effect. No, he doesn't. He went for the lead on Ballenden. Missed him. Sorry, it was Tommy Cutler, and it went out of bounds on the full yet again. You can't hug that boundary line on the outer side. Simple as that, unless you're a superb genius and using a slide rule and protractor to make sure it goes straight into the middle of the ground. Eli Smith, hard nugget too, gets the ball away. That's a good tackling effort. The Swans win the ball as a result. Got the handball out, did Hurst. It's coming back now. Goulden is going to kick it towards... No, it's going straight back towards Brisbane, and they're going to repel yet again.
Now, quarter time, inside 50s were 22-4. Right now, 26-21 in favour of the line still. So it just gives you an idea of the ball being camped to the left of screen. Jacob Allison just gets around one, takes a bounce, comes inside towards the corridor, gives it to Bastanak now. Skinner, wasn't the best handball from Bastanak, but just towed it forward, found Archie Smith. Skinner again off the outside of the right, sits up right at the top of the square. Van Hoysted, he judged it well but couldn't catch it just the same. A quick feed out there. That was Fullerton, and the ball just punched over the boundary line by Parks in the finish. And Brisbane, they just don't quite unload it as they would like to, and Sydney probably escape.
I think they might have. The Swans coming out. Oh, Matt Eagles favoured by this kick. It was a really good contest. It was well done by the young Swans player in Marco Rossman. Goes forward now. The ball taken by Tom Fullerton. I do like the way this boy plays his football, Kanga. He gets it to Bastanak. Bastanak right on 50, centre half forward. Sees somebody on his own. Sam Skinner takes it 30 metres out, directly in front.
Well, they set it up nicely in the finish, didn't they? And you look at the field at the moment, it's just all the players are forward to centre again. And, you know, they just found an avenue through. Little chipping ball seemed to be the order of the day, going to the right of screen, and Brisbane were good enough to find a free target or a couple of free targets in that piece of play, and Sam Skinner lines them up. Generally pretty reliable, although the commentators curse. You never know when you wrap a bloke up.
Kicked 18 goals, 17 for the year, so he's around about the 50-50 prospect. From 30, Sam Skinner, no issue. Puts it over the crane at the back of the goal and gets the Lions fifth. 5-6-36. Plays 1-5-11. It's now a 25-point margin. The Swans have done well to hang in there, but they just haven't converted their chances. They have kicked 1 goal 4 in this term so far.
Yeah, that's right. And as I just mentioned before, I mean, inside 50s, 28-21. It was 22-4 at quarter time. So the Swans have had lots of footy down in their end of the ground, but lots of numbers back for Brisbane. And it's been very congested down there. And when you have the opportunity to take it forward up the other end, it seems to be a little bit more space, obviously. So the Swans just would love to just pull one back here late, because 25 points at half-time is not a great place to be when you're trying to look to book a spot in the grand final.
Too true, and that's what this is all about. The winner of this game will meet Southport next weekend in the NEAFL grand final. It's going to be a cracker.
Of course, after this game, I'll announce what day and what time that'll be. Eli Smith got it to Bastanak, so a clearance going Brisbane's way. Skinner attacked it hard. Coming out there, Cox was just tackled enough just to impact him. Taylor, Archie Smith to Eli Smith, no relation there. And then Skinner stood under it, couldn't take it. Gets it on the second by the cherry. Off the outside of the right, bounces just to the outside of the goalpost. So one behind, margin 26 points.
The Swans will bring the ball back in. Justin McInerney. Been a great player for the Swans this year, McInerney. It's a long kick. He sets a big task for Cody Hurst at the back. He does well. Hurst gets there. Nick Robertson buffets him off the ball. But James Bell interjects. That was really well done too by Luke Parks, who actually created some space. Back to Hurst. Long spoil there too. Bringing it back down. It's Mitch Hinge. Handball. Bastanak. That's a beautiful kick. Needed to be precise. It was. Hit Starcevic. Starcevic looking for the man in Allison on the outer side. Naismith coming at him. Allison cleverly taps it in the path of Louis Taylor. Now he wheels around. Gets around Wicks. Hits Cedric Cox. 55 metres out. Looking for the pass. Great spoil by Van Hoysted. Swans with another chance to get out of here. Well done, Wicks. Van Hoysted picks it up and he gets it towards the outer wing. Starcevic. He got the front position, but the Swans have the numbers. Noel, he kicks it towards 50. Lester slips over, gets back up, takes a defensive mark. Great second effort after he hit the deck early.
Yeah, and just wrong-footed was foot there. Pardon the pun, but he was. And it just would have been good if he could provide a contest there. Josh Walker goes long down the line. Player down there for the Lions. We'll pick up that. It's Brendan Starcevic as the ball rolls over the boundary line.
He's just on the haunches. He's got physio and the doctor out with him at the moment. We'll see how it goes. He's back up.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit on the groggy side as well. So he's going to be just escorted off the ground. We'll see this contest there. And Noel's got him coming the other way.
That was just a drive-by. Drive-by that got him on the outer side. So see what happens there. The throw in. Archie Smith can't pick it up. Was well done there by Goulden. Act inside 50. Is that a mark? Is the umpire going to pay it? Yes, indeed. Diving effort there by Kyle Martin. I didn't know whether it was a half volley or not. Well, he's a Swans Academy product, of course. First tried out for the Sydney Swans Academy when he was 9 years old. He was 1 year early. He turned up. He's got to be 10 minimum. He turned up when he was 9 and said, give me a game. And he's been there ever since. So they love this boy. Kyle Martin. Let's see what he can do. Let's get the Swannies back within 20-odd points. from 45. It holds up, it pushes right. One behind. Very close. And that'll close it for half time. 5-7-37 the Brisbane Lions, 1-6-12 the Sydney Swans. It's a 25-point margin after the Lions led by 22 at quarter time. So a much closer quarter there for the Swans. We'll find out more at half time, but Hayden McLean has come off around about the 13-minute mark of that quarter with what was, his head was banged very hard against the deck. And he looked like to be concussed, and we'll find out whether he's gone for the rest of the game. We'll find that out very shortly.
Yeah, well, let's just have a chat about this first half. I mean, it was a game of two games within, how do you say that? Two halves within one half?
Something like that. We'll break it up.
Yeah, that's
say,
right.
We need a slide rule today.
All the play was just really going to the left of screen.
Yeah.
And inside 50s, I mentioned this a couple of times during that quarter, it was 22-4 Brisbane's way at quarter time, and now it's 30-23. So the Swans had 19 inside 50s to 8 in that quarter. So they had plenty of opportunity. They couldn't convert. Lots of numbers back in that forward 50. Brisbane really controlled the play still, and they really controlled the possession. They're plus 58 in disposals, if you like. But Sydney, much improved in that quarter. The challenge for them in the second half will be to hold Brisbane up in the third quarter and really give themselves a chance to really come home with a wet sail, if you like, in that last quarter. Brisbane, though, they've had lots of players that have been contributing, but there's a few that really just haven't quite got into the game. We talked about Tommy Cutler being frustrated. Ben Keys we haven't seen.
Haven't seen much of him.
Hide nor hair, really, of him as well. And just quickly some stats before we go to a break. Ryan Bassinette, we've seen plenty of him. 16 disposals, 5 marks, 3 tackles, a clearance and a couple of goals. Louis Taylor's had 14 disposals, including a couple of inside 50s and a couple of clearances. Ryan Lester, he's been busy down back, 14 disposals, and Jacob Allison likewise with 14 as well. Mitch Hinge, he's got 14, while Josh Walker, 5 marks, 13 disposals, couple of inside 50s, couple of rebound 50s. And then for the Sydney Swans, James Bell, he's had a dozen. I think he's been terrific. 5 clearances, 4 inside 50s for him. So he's been very prominent for the Sydney side. McInerney, he's had a dozen also. A couple of clearances and 6 rebound 50s. Wicks has had 9. Cameron has also had 9. And then James Rose, he had 9. Had the chance to kick a goal there in that second quarter. And young Errol Goulden, he had 9 as well.
Yeah, doing well. The Swans holding in there. 25 points the margin at half-time. Preliminary final 1 here at South Pine Sports Complex. We'll be back with the second half very shortly on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Welcome back to South Pine Sports Complex here in southeast Queensland for NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Preliminary final one, it is the Brisbane Lions against the Sydney Swans. It is half time, just about to start second half. Brisbane Lions 25 points in front, 5-7-37 to 1-6-12. That's after the Lions led by 22 points at quarter time. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. And Kanga, look, it's been a little frustrating, the game today. We've had a swirling breeze. It is basically going straight across the ground, slightly favouring the left of screen, but it has really made the game scrappy and a real tough in-close affair.
Yeah, it has been tough and in-close in a lot of ways, and it's been very frustrating for the players and spectators alike here. I mean, it's really taken away from, I suppose, what is a very quality game and an opportunity to really open the game up and see the talent on display. And sometimes we've seen the ball just kicked down that outer side and the breeze has just taken it out on the full, so it's an automatic turnover. What I hope now is that, as well as the breeze abating, that sides need to come to this side of the ground, the commentary side of the ground as we are calling from, and really try and take the game on. And really try and open it up. The Swans need to do that because they're the ones that are behind at the moment and really need to impact the scoreboard and give themselves a chance going into that last quarter.
Of course, Southport defeated Aspley yesterday. They are the first team into the NEAFL Grand Final for 2019. The winner of today will play against the Sharks. And, well, at the moment, it is Brisbane leading by 25 points. Just having a look, Brandon Starcevich just being talked to by the physios and whatnot. He had a heavy knock just before half-time. He's okay, but Hayden McLean, who basically had that heavy head knock 13 minutes into the second quarter, he's gone for the day. He is concussed, so he won't take any further part in the game for the Swannies.
Yeah, and that's really disappointing for him because first season on the list with the Sydney Swans and played 4 AFL games, had a chance, and I think he just looked like he was that big-bodied forward that Sydney really needed.
Absolutely, it was an unfortunate thing. He banged his head against the deck. But Mark Kanga Kennedy's going to get us started on NEAFL TV through Bar TV for the second half.
About to get underway here. South Pine Sport Complex, not a bad bounce. Naismith gets it down, but he gave it straight to Eli Smith. Kicked it long, inside forward 50. Big leap there from Van Hoysted. Keys is playing down there. We haven't seen much of him this afternoon. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. Sitting at about 40 metres out from goal, and already players just descending down towards that left of screen. Nobody inside behind centre circle. Bastanak wrapped up by 2 Swans, and the umpire will come in and do it all again.
Well, it's the Lions by 25 points, but the Swans keeping in it. They're scrapping hard. Just got to take their chances when they get them. Smith in front of Naismith. Gets the ball down. Goulden goes down the outer side. It's nicely taken there by Jack Payne. Just saw him coming up the race before. He is a monster of a human. Big kick inside 50. Nice mark taken there by Toby Wooler. No, he's given the nudge out the umpire has called. And it's going to be a free kick to the Swannies that's going to go to Reed Van Hoysted.
Just wondering if Toby Wooler could be an option for Mitch Robinson. Hard running half forward. Could play that wing type role that Mitch Robinson's played. That was a good mark there from Josh Walker.
There'd be a few candidates, Kanga, wouldn't there?
I'll have to count them off later. Josh Walker goes long. Inside forward 50, pack of players. The big boy, he almost had it. Big Naismith. Couldn't get it. Archie Smith just feeds it out. Rose, quick handball. Only finds McKellar, and McKellar went off his non-preferred left and out of bounds on the full it went.
And it went another 10 metres into the paddock, so one of the punters has to go and get it there as well. Star-studded crowd here as well. Some of the Brisbane Lions senior members and staff all downstairs. Link McCarthy, Mitch Robinson himself standing down there, Bundy Christensen. Also, the Big O. Andrew Ireland, the former honcho of the Sydney Swans, and also John Longmire here amongst a host of dignitaries for the Swannies, really supporting their boys here. The ball's stuck underneath and we'll get a ball up.
And, of course, the best on ground next week will be awarded the Andrew Ireland Medal for services that Andrew Ireland has made to Queensland and football in New South Wales, obviously through the Swans, and he was in charge of the Queensland footy for a long time.
No, he certainly was. He's instrumental in the growth of the game in both states. A monument to him. Bastanak kicks it to the top of the square. At the back, Robertson, tackled by Van Hoysted, gets the handball away. Keys, left foot. and puts it through for the Brisbane Lions. Better ball movement. Crowd enjoyed that one here at South Pine, and the Lions get their 6-7-43 to 1-6-12. It is now a 31-point margin.
Well, as soon as it got out to Ben Keys here and you saw him on his left foot, well, that was good night for me, because on his preferred, close to goal, and he is a prolific goal kicker. He just gets the job done, doesn't he?
Yeah, 38 for the year.
Yeah, that's right, 38 for the year. He hasn't had a lot of the footy this afternoon, just the 5 disposals. He's had 3 clearances, so he's pushed up around that contest a little bit there, but Ben Keys, you don't need to give him too much of the football to have your side reap the rewards on the scoreboard.
Be pretty close to the leading goal kicker for the Lions NEAFL side as well. Looks like we've just had news as well. I saw Joel Amati being treated by doctors just before. The Swans, tragically, they've lost Joel Amati to concussion as well. So they are 2 players down now on the bench. That's they could ill afford that.
Brisbane, Sydney took it forward. Brisbane looked to mop up from their defence. 2 players down, that's no good. Bastanak feeds a handball out. Eli Smith, he's a bit of a bull, but this occasion he's 360'd over the boundary line, so we'll have a throw in some 70 metres from the Swans goal. But of course, all that breeze pushing to the outer side, but favouring the left of screen.
It's going to be very difficult for the Swans defence. Amati was holding up very nicely there as well. So the ball in dispute on the outer side. Oh, he's dived in and just hatched on it, Errol Goulden. He's going to get pinged. He was. Umpire McGuinness was just watching him. He did dive in. As soon as he did, the Lions had him. Bastanak, who's had a good game so far, kicked a couple of goals as well. We'll take the free kick.
Yeah, 20 disposals. This is number 20 for Bastanak.
That's a nice one too. Good strong mark. Good set of hands, Toby Wooler. He's an interesting prospect, Toby Wooler, the number 41 in the 2017 draft. Goes to the outer side, punched away from Fullerton, and it's Rove there. You can see Corey Lyons hated it as soon as it went off his boot because it went out of bounds on the full. Over the fence, and the Swannies will get another free kick and a chance to load up.
Well, they're going to have to really sort of
Need
find a way to stem the tide, don't they? Just the one goal. Here we are in the 3rd quarter, some 5 minutes gone. Kick comes down from Wicks. Goes long. Tall timber back there. Cameron was there. Couldn't take it. Archie Smith feeds it out. Louis Taylor had to bend down for it, but picked it up. Jacob Allison had to stretch for it, but did that well. Wheels around his favoured right. Finds a target. Just can't quite find it on the full. Leicester did well. Got it to Robertson. But they've got numbers here. If they sort this out, they're pushing forward. Corey Lyons, Louis Taylor in the middle. We're on the centre circle. They go to the outer side now, so just moving the ball around with a bit more aplomb. Possession number 21 for Bastanak. Spoiled away from Cedric Cox. Josh Walker's involved. Now to Cox, just Bastanak, I should say, racking him up, and Louis Taylor's in the middle of South Pine Sport Complex.
Plays on, goes right, goes left, uses his left, and then basically torches the ball. Ends up in the hands of Thorne. It comes out now. Hurst, he's under pressure. Gets it there to Darcy Cameron. Or was going to unload the handball, then did late. That's a nice kick inside 50. And the mark taken there by Kyle Martin. But really, really good work by Sam Thorne there. He's under a lot of pressure and assistance from Cody Hurst as they got the ball inside 50.
Well, as the captain, Sam Thorne, for the New South Wales under-18s this year.
Their academy is amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It really is.
And, it's good bit of work there. Also by Darcy Cameron. And one thing that Breeze does, it doesn't really favour their big guys, where I thought they had a good advantage today.
So Kyle Martin comes in. Let's go from 40. Starts it right. It fades left. That's the way to do it at that end. The Swannies get their 2nd goal. 6-7-43. Plays 2-6-18. We're back to that 25-point margin as it was at halftime.
You just see that Darcy Cameron just held the ball up nicely and just gave it to Sam Thorne at the right time. And that was a lovely kick. Just put it into space. And Kyle Martin just put it out there. And I'm sure he's all his junior club, Pittwater Tigers juniors he played for. And of course these days he's with the Manly Footy Club. And the Manly Warringah, the Wolves, I believe
They are the Wolves.
They
the
are the
Manly
Wolves.
Warringah Wolves.
Now they'll all be thrilled to see Kyle Martin kick a major for the Swans. So the margin back to 25 points. We've played nearly 8 minutes of this third quarter. Swans would dearly love another one. That is not the best exponent, or not the best bounce, really. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hardest thing in the game to do is bounce it. Let's throw it up, umpire McGuinness.
And that he does now. Give that one to Archie Smith. And the big boy from the Swans just toes it forward. Lester is pulled down as he kicked it. Oh, nice spoil there by McInerney. And that's a good tackle there by Sam Thorne, following up his good work from before. And the man he put over the line was Brandon Starcevic, and good to see him back on the deck after he copped the, what'd you call it, the drive-by.
There was a little drive-by by Michael Knoll. Just, here I am, there I went. Hope you feel better. The ball slapped down, beautifully done by Lester. Great tackle, Sam Wicks, let loose the ball. Rose could have copped one in the back and did. It'll go against Tom Berry. Sir James Rose has the ball in front of the interchange gates here at South Pine Sports Complex. They've got to get a move on. The Sydney Swans, they're 25 points down. That's a deep kick, but to a 2-on-1. Allison had the ascendancy, landed, did well. Handball to Eagles. Matheson, by hand to Robertson. Belted as he kicked it. Rose comes in. Dropped what he might have taken. Ballenden. It was a nice tackle there from Parks. They let loose the ball again. Wooler, handball over the top. It's going to come to McFadyen, and he just kicks it with the right shoe. Needed a left. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Swannies.
Yeah, just not sure what other foot he puts down.
Boom, Shanker. Well played, sir.
Yeah, that's right. He has no left. Just needs to be able to use it. Foot goes up the line. Yeah, that was touch, so Walker gets it across to Allison. That's a lovely kick. Just opens the play up. Cutler can take a bounce. Handballs it over the top. Lions, they have numbers here. Bastanak has a target inside forward 50 and finds the archer in Reece Matheson.
He's been overtaken now in the whole archery thing. Young fella from Port Adelaide.
Yeah, was it Rosie?
No, the other
or was
one.
it Dersma?
Dersma. Xavier
Yes,
Dersma.
Xavier Dersma.
But he's got the head flick at the end. He sort of lets go and then flicks his head back very dramatically. Must have been a drama student.
He's a pretty fair footballer regardless.
Too true.
Son of Jamie Dersma, the former Melbourne player. We're talking about other players now. Reece Matheson comes in, loads it up. Starts it right. That's never coming back. Not on a day like today with the breezes pushing out to that outer side. Minor score. Margin at 26 points in favour of the Lions.
So the Swannies to bring the ball back in. McInerney, usually a reliable kick. I don't want to torch him by saying that. He takes off. That's a wobbling conveyance. It was, as soon as I said it, Kanga, he was a reliable kick and he kicked an inside-out torpedo. That was taken by Toby Wooler, who did beautifully. Comes laterally now. The Lions starting to get their game style working. Jacob Allison did a U-turn and then went straight down the guts into Tom Cutler territory. It was well done. Went through the hands of Cutler. Smashed over the line by Luke Parks. We're going to get a throw in right forward pocket for the Brisbane Lions. They're still leading by 26 points.
Chance for the Lions to extend the margin. They have inside 50s aplenty just at the moment. Rose, he extracts it for Sydney though, and he only extracts it out of bounds on the full. Put a fair bit of distance on it. That was the only benefit. And Ballenden can bring it back in, finds Josh Walker. They'll just try and open it up again, Leicester. Little ball, doesn't find his target. Sam Thorne, though, gets in for the Swans. He's had a good little period, although his handball just found a player under pressure. Good tackle from the Lions. They'll get it back. Allison, Eli Smith and Robinson combine. Off now to Starcevic. Just straightens up on the right. Over the back. Berry's there. Beats him over the line. Geddes was with him.
Coming up.
Just get the feeling now the Lions are really getting their game style working, Kanga. They're starting to move the ball with a lot more fluency.
Yeah, that's right. And we've seen when they've been challenged at various times that they've really kicked into gear. quite seen it on the scoreboard yet.
Cameron got it down to James Rose. Pressured as he kicked it. Well, very fortunately, falls into the hands of his teammate. It's coming out now. Wicks gets it across to Thorne. Plenty of numbers in front, but most of those belong to the Brisbane Lions. They're set up like a chessboard in front of him. Now James Rose receives the handball. It's going to be a big fly for Darcy Cameron at the front. Oh, beautifully roved at the back by Goulden. Got the handball into the middle of the ground. Sorry, it was a kick, and it was Cody Hurst. Takes them. Now, the Lions again have set up superbly. There's a nice lateral movement, though. The Swans have to do so to get the ball around. Toby Pink on the outer side of the ground. The Lions have set up beautifully here, Kanga.
Yeah, that they have. And you notice that because Sydney are just stifled. They're happy just to hold on to possession here a little bit. McInerney wants Geddes. He goes further back. Finds Parks. Asked to go. And only takes a skill error like that to put the ball out. And then Brisbane can set up, stoppage, and hopefully take it back inside forward 50. That's probably not what the Swans really want to see. They need a bit more surety by hand and by foot.
Well, the idea was right there. It was just a basic skill error, wasn't he? Just missed the target by a couple of metres. Throw in, though. It's well taken there by Ballenden. Gets the ball back to Cutler. Long kick towards, and finding Connor McFadyen. 20 goals for the year. Wants to play on. Handball over the top. It ends up back to McFadyen. It's kicked to the top of the square. Oh, nice mark taken there by Sam Skinner. He just wrestled the much smaller man there, and Sam Thorne he was beside. Sam Skinner takes the mark.
Well, the ball just dropped, didn't it? It was end over end and coming actually against the breeze, and it just dropped short, and Skinner was just there. The big body, it was hard to reach around him on that basis.
Yeah, he's already kicked a goal, Sam Skinner, so that's 19 for the year, of course. Well documented his return from 3 knee recos. Comes in, 15 metres out directly in front and kicks it straight through the middle. Through to the back of the car park, and the Lions extend their lead. It is 7-8-50. Playing 2-6-18. 32 points the margin in favour of the Brisbane Lions.
Just watching that ball, I reckon it lobbed on top of my car. So I'll be having a word with Sam Skinner later. Just have a wait and see. Couldn't have just popped it through, could he?
Fully comprehensive?
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, yes. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, 32 points in all seriousness, the margin for the Brisbane Lions. It's going to be tough now for the Sydney Swans. They're going to have to come really hard in this last quarter. They've got to kick at least 5 goals or a bit over 5 goals, and they've got to withstand the second half of this third quarter. So there's a bit to do here. This is where you'd like to see Darcy Cameron and Knowles and Naismith really sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck, and this breeze dies down. That's probably where they hold the greatest advantage for mine. Bounce in the middle. That's a lovely conveyance up in the air from the umpire. Cox tries to come through, feeds a quick one out. Rose, though, picks it off for the Swans. Can't quite handle it, so Louis Taylor just arrives. Tried to find Robinson. Wicks, or in fact it was Hurst right there. Geddes goes off the ground, just toes it forward. He'll get it back now. And it was Rossman that gave it to him, and then Nick Robertson just ate one with a smother. Over the boundary line, right on that outer wing.
I wonder if we had a stat for boundary throw-ins from the outer side. Be prolific today. There's a good one, Archie Smith versus Cameron Smith. Just put it down the throat of Bastanak beautifully. Semi-smothered kick. It was Thorne for Sydney who got it back. Payne, Bastanak all the way through to Eli Smith. Long kick and reading it beautifully. McInerney for the Swannies. Just got away from his man and read that nicely. Takes the intercept mark. But this is almost dead man's pocket. It's very difficult to get out of there.
Yeah, that it is. Goes long. One there by Walker, just judged it best.
They've done that beautifully all day, the Lions. They've just had 2 and 3 to the aerial contest.
It's not easy in conditions like today. Pinker's front spot, reaching over was Ballenden, but Matheson just judged it beautifully. Bastanak, handball, bit of a nothing one inside, and then emerges with it again, and then snaps for goal. But only the behind. not to be. It was a good effort. Just keeps racking them up as well. Position number 16 for him. 2 behinds for the day.
So once again, McInerney for the Swannies. It's a little chip pass into the pocket. Just held it up. He's made in Nicholas Brewer. Nick Brewer from the North Shore Bombers. As you see the wind take that. And really well read by Van Hoysted, who takes the mark. Little chip pass towards the boundary line. Oh, just not taken there by Roseby. So the Lions have it now. Jacob Allison. That just holds up in the breeze as well. Oh, look, really good courage. The Swans player got absolutely crunched by Cutler. Nabastanak could have been holding the ball as well. Sorry, it was McFadyen could have been holding the ball. The Swans player there in Naismith, was it? No, it was actually McKellar.
Yeah.
That showed a lot of courage to stand there knowing that the pack was going to jump into his back. He's very stiff as the Swannies get out on the outer side.
Yeah, just saw him. That knee just went, I reckon, right into his back or into his hip. That really would have hurt. Ball on the outer side. Out of bounds. Already down a couple of players. Joel Armadi and also McLean, Hayden McLean are off. Concussion. Archie Smith feeds it out. Goes back the other way, so the Swans take it away. Not sure where to go, Goulden, so happy just to run it almost over the boundary line.
Yeah, so Hayden McLean and John Amadi, as you said, Kanga, they're out for the rest of the game, concussion, so they can ill afford to lose another one off the bench, the Swannies. It is a warm day, it's 25 odd degrees. We've got the westerly winds swirling all over the place, but still a warm day here in southeast Queensland. Swans get their clearance, bounces out off Jack Payne's bicep it was. Now Foot taken down without the ball, will receive the free kick. So Zach Foot has a chance to put Sydney into attack yet again. He's 70 metres from goal, wants to lay off the handball, does so. He's going back for the 1-2, Zach Foot. Can't break the tackle, just gets the handball away. Rose, he pops a handball out. Now it's the turnover. Nick Robertson gets it out to Cedric Cox. Junior Silk just lowers the eyes and smacks it into the hands of Ballenden.
He does well. He looks to the further to the outer side, gives it to Bastanak, possession number 27 coming up. So in for a big afternoon. Got a couple of goals as well. Big day. Asked to play on now, goes down the line. Not his best effort. Eludes Pink, but Rosebery just absolutely monstered in a tackle there by Reece Matheson. He's got him right around the chest and he was going nowhere except to the deck.
Love the way Reece Matheson goes about his football. Have a look as it comes up on the replay. Poor, it could have been a little high, but just got low enough, did Reece Matheson there, as it comes out now for the Lions. Back inside 50, ill-directed kick and well read, though, by Justin McInerney. He's been a stalwart in defence for them this year, and he's actually had a cracking game today. The ball's been down there enough. That's a great mark taken on the outer side. Big man in Michael Knoll.
Darcy Cameron, that one.
Oh, Darcy Cameron, he shaved his head like Michael Knoll, has he? Good God. Comes back inside to Sam Thorne.
Well, he wasn't getting a game. What about me, he said.
That's Shannon Knoll, champion.
Oh, right, yeah.
Goes down the outer side. Archie Smith. Ball spills out wider. Once again, the Lions going into attack. Matheson up against their Brewer. Swans do well to get it over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in.
Of course, moving pictures, seeing the original there, but Reece Matheson continuing to rack them up. 5 tackles, 5 marks, 18 disposals. Bastanak 27 disposals. We'll get to some Sydney ball winners shortly. Inside forward 50, that might have been Bastanak again. Gives it to Cox, who gave it to Lyons, and the shot at goal was, again, just set out to that right-hand side of the goalpost and never coming back. Leading possession getters for Sydney at the moment. McInerney has 16, but trumped by Rose, who's got 17. Goulden's the next best with 13. Wicks and Darcy Cameron got 12 apiece. So
McInerney to bring the ball back in. Saunters out of the goal square. Gets onto the right foot. It's a little bit of a wobbler. Once again, the pack flies. Brought down. Going in hard, Nick Robertson. Ball spills out again. Oh. Once again, Another free kick has been plucked out.
And there's a bit of angst out there, isn't
There's
there?
a little bit of stink going on. Nick Robertson, he doesn't like it. Well, he actually does like a bit of it, which is why there's stink.
And Bell was the other man involved, and they're just still talking each other in back play, but 50 metres was a result of the free kick.
So it's going to be an opportunity for score here. Handball gets laid off. Short pass going in, and that's ill-directed. That was just a waste. It was touched off the boot. Matt Eagles got it over the top. Handball, Louis Taylor. Oh, and his kick just finds his teammate in Cutler. It was a wasted opportunity for the Swannies. They had a red-hot chance there.
Yeah, that they did. Cutler goes to the outer side. That's a good kick. Just opens it up. Nobody further afield, so Bastanak was forced to just hold fire. And Leicester ran for him, and likewise now Robertson. And Robertson was dealt with after he kicked the ball, so that'll be downfield, and Connor Ballenden will be the man that takes the free kick. So again, a little bit of that feeling. It was Naismith that knocked over Robertson and said that one's for James Bell, I think, when he knocked him over. But still, ill-disciplined down the field it was. So Connor Ballenden, prodigious kick of the football, really winds up. Distance won't be an issue for him, I wouldn't have thought, although he just sat it up instead. And McInerney just fed it back to Geddes, who was happy just to run it through. I think he tried to do the team thing when he probably could have had a shot at goal.
Well, it's the dead pocket, very difficult to score from anywhere on that side of the ground. You're kicking back into the teeth of the breeze. Oh, dangerous kick. Cedric Cox cuts it off. Great tackling effort, though. Restricts him. No, he's going to get a free kick. Must have been high, umpire. No, it's over the boundary line. No, he's waving arms everywhere, so it's going to be a throw in. Right forward pocket. I thought Cox was going to break through, but that was a great tackle. Throw in with Smith at the back. Once again, Cox puts himself in. Tackled off the ball by Naismith. Leicester. No, there's a free kick. It's going to go back behind play. It's going to be another high tackle, and it's going to go. I think it's the way of the Brisbane Lions, but umpire Nick, there it is. It is going to... Now, if it goes to Matheson...
And Matheson, he loves a bit of agitation, but I noticed that he had the ball in hand. He was actually urging people to settle down.
Oh, yeah. I've had a shot at goal.
I've got a shot at goal, boys. Don't be doing anything silly.
So Reece Matheson.
Sure, on the other foot, he'd be there. They push me, shove you.
I wonder what the percentage of, free kicks for high tackles that Reece has actually got over his career. He's very good at attracting them, but you've got to put your head over the agate to get those ones, Kanga. Yeah, that's what I like about it. Reece Matheson comes in from 40 metres. And makes no mistake for the Brisbane Lions. They extend their lead, 8-11, 59, plays 2-6-18. It's now a 41-point margin here at South Pine Sports Complex. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action. NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
Well, it's going to take something a bit extraordinary for the Swans to make it back from here. They're going to have a big last quarter. They will kick with the benefit of the breeze and have the advantage that way, but might be a bridge too far. It's really opening up, and the experience of Brisbane really shining through and looking very difficult to get through their defences. Just at the moment, 3-4 Brisbane this quarter, just a solitary goal for Sydney. And inside 50s, 45-27, so plus 18 there. Possession-wise, it is plus 121 at the moment.
Poor.
Just had to get the abacus out.
That's a differential, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a differential. Hit out a square. Clearances are actually square as well, but just that weight of ball just pushing forward. Quite enormous. Go again from the restart. Archie Smith down to Bastanak. Possession number 30 for him. Read off the hands beautifully by Louis Taylor. Inside forward 50, Pink pushes his opponent Sam Skinner off the ball. Does it well. Just goes back to that outer side. Goes with the right. And again, had no left. So that is out of bounds. Very close to play. And his direct opponent, Sam Skinner, will be the beneficiary of the free kick.
Already kicked a couple of goals, Sam Skinner. And looking at his third here. Eventually the ball's coming back to him. But again, this is going to be a tremendously difficult kick. You'd have to sort of curl it around, or at least to the left goal post.
Yeah, it's a tough kick. Just going to be interested to see what tactics he is looking around here a little bit. And he'll just sit it up. Top of the goal square. The big men fly at it. Archie Smith was here. And Connor McFadyen was that just ran the ball through in the finish for the Lions, even though he's probably trying to keep it in. So the margin out to 42. And we've played 28 minutes of this third quarter.
James Rose played on, trying to create something from defence. It fortunately drops down for him now. Sam Wicks gets a handball out. Cody Hurst has a bounce. Good handball to the run of Wicks, who kept going. Oh, he sold the big dummy to Matt Eagles and then puts it inside 50. Hinge gets it. Tackled. Let's loose the ball. James Bell has an opportunity. Dribbles the left footer. It bounces. What's going to happen? It's picked up. Oh, great defensive effort by Starcevic. That's a goal-saving effort. And the ball by Zach Foote comes through. Dead set going to be a goal for the Swans until Brandon Starcevic intervened. We'll see it on the Bar TV, NEAFL TV replay. There you go. Great effort from Starcevic.
And up again straight away, wasn't he? Jacob Allison from the restart absolutely hoists it. The other side of the centre circle. It's already at half forward with the one kick. McInerney, though, gets back for the Swans. The Swans will bring it back out in the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick. Cedric Cox looking for Sam Skinner, couldn't find him. Geddes, and he was wrapped up. Van Hoysted just put him under a bit too much pressure from the Cedric Cox tackle. And what about the kick from Jacob Allison?
That's
he just put it the other side of the centre circle, if you don't mind.
That's when you launch it up, and it just reaches that nice little air channel and gets pushed along. Well played. Ball stuck under several again. The umpire's going to have to do it again. On the outer side, it's the Lions leading by 41 points at the present.
From the restart, Archie Smith gets it down. Basnack lays the tackle, although tackle was illegal too high, says the umpire. So kick will go the way of the Swans. And getting up from that contest is Goulden. Like the cut of his jib, young Errol Goulden.
Yeah, he'll be drafted. Don't worry about that.
Goes on his favoured left. And that's a good reach there. And that's not paid to Naismith. That's a bit rough. They maintain possession though. Foot, handball over the top. McKellar couldn't handle it. And just getting monstered. There was Hurst. And that was by Matt Eagles. A fair bit of vigour in that tackle.
Yeah, there's only around about 30 odd kilos difference and about 1.5 foot. Well played there by Cody Hurst to get involved. It was hacked out of there by Brisbane, then towed forward. Keys. He played those in danger.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Dangerous. He had his hand on the ball.
Fair enough there. So it's Swans free kick. Noel, all the ruckman. Putting the scares into a few of the punters. Van Hoysted. Oh, he got it long, but it was a bit of a mismatch between Errol Goulden there and Josh Walker, who floated over the back and took a nice defensive mark.
Yeah, just wasn't a good kick at all, was it? Jacob Allison. See if he's going to roost this one. A few more players back, so he just lobs the ball laterally to Walker. Has his kick smothered, so well done there. Louis Taylor, hands and knees. Rose wins it for the Swans. Gets it off to Sam Thorne. Half forward, outer side. They'll come off the side of his boot, but Wicks does pretty well, although Starcevic beats him eventually. Although Wicks just holds on to him, manages to find a way to impede his progress to try and leave the contest, and does it well. Well done there, Sam Wicks.
Yeah, I reckon he's a great little player, Sam Wicks. Number one tackler. And there is the three-quarter time siren. And it is the Brisbane Lions at three-quarter time leading by 41 points. 8-12-60 plays 2-7-19. The Swans with only the 1 goal, 1 in that quarter. And the Brisbane Lions with 3 goals, 5. The Wind playing havoc with the game. but the Lions with plenty of scoring shots. They led by 22 at quarter time, 25 at half time. Now they lead by 41. Your goal scorers very quickly, doubles to Sam Skinner, Ryan Bastanak, singles to Ben Keys, Louis Taylor and Reece Matheson and Tom Fullerton. For the Swans, 2 goal scorers, Kyle Martin and Marco Rossman.
Well, 8 scoring shots in that third quarter, just 2. Brisbane really controlled the play. Overall, 113 plus possessions Brisbane are. 80 to 40 marks from that point of view, and inside 50s, 46 to 29. So Brisbane really have controlled the numbers. Ryan Bastanak has had 30 to three-quarter time, 8 marks, 5 tackles, 3 clearances, 6 inside 50s, 2 goals. He's been a bit of everywhere, even a rebound 50. Josh Walker's had 22. He's had 10 marks for that day, and Jacob Allison just helping patrol the back half of the ground with Josh Walker. He's also had 22 and 5 rebound 50s. Louis Taylor's had 20. Meanwhile, McInerney for the Sydney Swans, he's had 19 disposals, 10 rebound 50s, 2 clearances and inside 50, tried really hard. James Rose has had 19 as well, 4 clearances, 2 inside 50s. And Sam Wicks, we mentioned him and how well he's been going. 16 disposals for him, 3 clearances, 4 inside 50s. And young Goulden, Errol Goulden, who Michael Price thinks will be drafted.
Oh, totally.
I've got to agree with you there. He's had 6 clearances for the day and 14 disposals. So numbers all favouring Brisbane. And at 41 points, it's going to be a long, long way back for the Sydney Swans after a three-quarter time address.
It's going to be tough. 41 points the margin. We'll be back with the final quarter. Should be a cracker, though, here at South Pine Sports Complex between the Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans. Back soon on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Welcome back to South Pine Sports Complex here at Brendale, South East Queensland. And it is the Brisbane Lions versus the Sydney Swans in prelim final number 1 at three-quarter time. It's the Brisbane Lions by 41 points. They led by 25 at halftime, 22 at quarter time. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling the game. Kanga, it's been a pretty good performance by the Brisbane Lions considering the swirling conditions. The Swans, unfortunately, have lost a couple of players as well. McLean and Amati, both with concussion before half-time.
Yeah, it's been difficult all around, difficult conditions and a difficult game to get your head around in terms of what's going on. But one thing we do know is that the Brisbane Lions, they've really held sway in this game. Yeah. They've controlled it for very large parts. The Swans had a lot of possession that second quarter, a lot of inside 50s, but we're going to see, I think the Swans come home nicely, but they might come up short. We'll get underway though. Archie Smith, he got a run up at it. Corey Lyons is there. Cutler just can't quite hold up. James Bell gets a handball to Noel. Little kick is repelled there by Jacob Allison and fortuitously falls in the arms of Eli Smith. Goes out wide. Corey Lyons, not as prolific as he usually is, Corey Lyons. 17 disposals.
He plays on though. It's a nice right full kick inside 50. Oh, as Archie Smith comes out and presents. Front and square, Berry, handball, Keys, gets it around his ankles. Now Allison, under a bit of pressure, handball, it's back to Hinge, kicks it inside 50. Good defensive effort there from the Swans player. And they get it out over the head of Nick Robertson. Oh, he tried to get around him, didn't he? He's very fortunate he got the push in the back there. So is that Cody Hurst? Yes, it is. He just sold the big dummy and he's lucky to get the push in the back from Hinge. He handballed it off to McInerney, who's had a red-hot crack all day. Looping handball over the top, and Thorne drops what he might have taken. The Lions will get out of here. Beautifully done by Lester, the veteran.
Well, he just felt the pressure, didn't he, Sam Thorne, of the approaching Orion Lester. Now Cutler, couple of bounces through the middle, takes a third, takes a fourth, has a good block. Inside forward 50, and the kick just probably didn't befit the build-up. It just dribbled out of play. Just a good solid tackle there by Ryan Lester.
Oh, that was well done. And again, the veterans, he's been around the footy club for a very long time, Ryan Lester, knows what he's doing and just laid that tackle. I felt sorry first on the end of it.
Yeah, he tried to shimmy around him, not to be. Cameron took it out of the ruck and extracted it. McKellar gets it forward. Lester's there, just bowled over on this occasion. Players around him, he'll be wrapped up, I would think. Umpire agrees and have a ball up.
Yeah, once again, every player on the paddock is forward of the centre to your right of screen. Oh, Matt Eagles just barely on the other side of the oval. The throw up then comes out for the Swans. It's well done there by Darcy Cameron. He slung as he got the ball away though. Cutler fighting his way to front position, picks the ball up. He's got a Swan on either arm. Well done there to hold him up. And right on the point of the centre square, umpire McGuinness is going to throw the ball up again.
Geez, he's frustrated, isn't he, Cutler?
Oh, he's had a couple of frustrating moments today where he's been in the right spot and just can't break away. Starcevic, well, he can break away. Have a go at that. Puts the big don't argue, and then the right foot bouncing inside 50. Oh, Berry buffeted off the ball, and then he landed and got it. He's a tough little bugger. Is Tom Berry. Van Hoysted picks it up, gets the handball away. The Swans, will they be able to go into attack? No. Eagles takes the ball. He's tackled well, though. Swans with a chance because of the spillage, but it's a throw. Umpers called a throw. It's going to be a free kick to Brisbane in the middle of the paddock.
Well, it was Knowles that threw the ball, Michael Knowles. Wasn't happy about it. It looked to be there for mine. Jack Payne goes to the outer side. Has lines, but it goes over his head and just rolls, end over end. See Andrew Crowell in the background, the black shirt. Lions player welfare manager. Just surveying the scene of all the Lions players. A couple of his boys out there too. Good to see his sons in Lions colours. Of course, Andrew Crowell played for the Adelaide Crows and Woodville West Torrens in SANFL. Reece Matheson from the restart comes through, gets it to Archie Smith. Eli Smith. The Smiths combine. Cutler. Now to Wooler. Wooler sits it up. Went over the top. And it was Kyle McKellar who got the ball.
Yeah, good mark from Kyle McKellar. Well read. Long kick to the outer side. Cameron punched away there by Matt Eagles over the boundary line.
Very funny. I was talking to Andrew Crowell at half-time, which is A, why I know so much, and B, he's a mate of mine. But he said he was at this on this commentary side of the ground. He said, I'm seeing nothing from this commentary side of the ground, so I'm going to stand on the outer side because I'll see more. Well, and he's certainly right.
Welcome to our world. Game viewed through binoculars only as Archie Smith misses the ball. It's picked up by Corey Lyons. Gets it to half forward. Tom Berwick can't take the mark. Jeez, he's done well to actually back up. Swans players were very good in their defensive efforts. Picked up there and hacked away there by Goulden. Goes down the outer side. Diving mark taken there by Darcy Cameron. Handball out now. Gets to James Rose. He just chips it forward. Bounces a little awkwardly there for Noel. Brisbane Lions players with the ascendancy there. Jacob Allison goes one way, then the other, then decides laterally and hits Ben Keys. Nice play. Nice, calm defensive play.
Don't often see Ben Keys down that far down the ground either. Off to Corey Lyons. And now to Cutler. Cutler, a little chipping one. Will make him frustrated because it didn't get there on the full. Robertson. Over the back, so opens up a bit of space for McFadyen. He just goes off the ground. Goes further. Berry's there. Well done by Geddes. Now Matheson right across the face. And that just rolls right away. Probably another 20 metres away from the point post.
He was just running the wrong way, wasn't he? Couldn't get that curl back. We're going to get a throw in the left forward pocket, though. Stoppage where the Lions could put this game to bed straight away. Ruckman will go at his Ballenden versus Darcy Cameron. Cameron at the back, nudged him out and then took the ball, hacked it towards the wing. Allison can't pick it up. Entering the fray. Swans player toes it forward. That's a long kick towards goal and just missed it. Was that Cody Hurst yet again?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was, mate. So we've got a bit of glare coming out here as well. But that was a good effort. Just missed it on the right side. So another point to the Swannies, but badly needed goals.
That's a nice kick from Ryan Lester under the circumstances. Could he be the player that perhaps goes up? We've been musing over who might come in for Mitch Robinson. That's one change. Would there be more? That kick's not a good one. McInerney sits it up in the breeze. And if he's trying to bring rain, mate, it ain't happening. And the ball just goes out of bounds, rolls.
Yeah, the wind hasn't abated at all, has it, Kangaroo? It's been swirling and heavy all day. You see it on the screen here on NEAFL TV through Bar TV. Still blowing straight across the ground. You can see it in front of the boundary umpire. Slightly favouring the end to the left of screen. Ball drops in short. It was taken there by Noel. He's tackled. Ball again over the boundary line. Doing it all again. It's a little bit of Michael Noel gets involved with Mitch Hinge. So interesting, Fullerton going in the ruck here against Michael Noel. He's a man of all talents, is Tommy Fullerton. Noel gets rid of him though. Umpire says illegally. Fullerton ends up getting the free kick.
Well, he's a man of many talents. Bulking up and standing up. Probably not one of them against big Michael Noel and a big weight advantage. He's a very tall and developing player, is Tom Fullerton. And the kick went further afield. Skinner impacted the contest. Ball went out of play.
How would you think the Brisbane Lions coaching staff would see today's game so far, Kango, as far as a score out of 10, something like that?
I think probably about a 7, really. Yeah. It hasn't been comprehensive, but the effort's been there. There's no doubt about that. So Basnak gets it up. McFadyen just hoists it forward. First back there is Pink. And his kick, he just tried to shimmy, get the kick away. It was smothered by Sam Skinner. Allows the ball to be kept in that forward half for Brisbane.
So having said that, what about the Sydney Swans stuff? Do you think they'd be... I mean, they've had a red-hot go. There's no doubt about it. But I think it just hasn't translated.
Yeah, well, they obviously came in undermanned from a amount of listed and rookie players. But, again, their effort's been good. They've been just outgunned, and their structures probably just hasn't quite held up as well as Brisbane's.
Matheson, high ball inside 50. Oh, Toby Pink stood tall. The 247's going out at Fulton and Pink was the winner on this occasion. Comes back out to the commentary side. Off hands, Sydney with the numbers. Well done by Thorne, got the handball away, foot. Oh, it was beautifully picked off by Mitch Hinds, athletically picked off. A long kick, beautifully spoiled by Toby Pink again. At the front, square was Roseby, can't quite control the ball. Hinge, Matheson, McFadyen, 40 metres out. Connor McFadyen launches and hooks it like my tee shot off the 15th. One behind, scraped in for a point.
Yeah, had an opportunity, didn't he? And lined him up, but the breeze, again, just took it, but didn't allow for it just the same. So they extend the margin to 41 again. Barkley takes it out to the outer side, looking for the big, tall Timber. And if Michael Noel, ball spills off hands out of bounds.
I was going to say, very difficult to judge as far as skill areas go for both sides, because, again, in these conditions, when it is windy, swirly, you are going to get a lot more missing targets, a lot more kicks not being dropped onto the boot straight. So very difficult to assess.
Yeah, that it is. Ballenden went in the ruck. Bassanek gave it to Lyons, albeit under pressure. Bassanek gets it again from Ballenden. Big looping handball, finds Tommy Berry. Now to Bassanek. He's had 3 disposals in this little passage. Starcevic, and finds a little one-handed up periscope type mark from Louis Taylor.
That was heading straight between the pecs of Sam Skinner. And you can see on the NEAFL TV, Bar TV replay, it was a beautiful kick going for Skinner, and Louis Taylor, oh, there you go, I'll have this one. He put his hand up and said, it's mine. Well played.
He said, ahoy, skipper, up periscope. So Louis Taylor, out of side. It's actually not a bad place, I think, to position on the ground at least to probably kick a goal. He's already kicked 1 into the breeze today, and he's got 2 into the breeze. Kicked both of his goals to the right of screen. 1 in the second quarter and 1 here in the last. Puts the margin out to 47 points, and I think, barring an absolute calamity of catastrophic proportions, Brisbane have booked their place in the grand final as we see that lovely kick from Louis Taylor.
Used the breeze, he surfed the breeze, didn't he?
One of the big questions I have, and I think we need to probably discuss, is that they play Southport next week, and we assume that it is Brisbane going through. They play at Fankhauser Reserve down at Southport's home ground, but they can only play 16 listed players. So today they've come in with 23, and James Madden has been left out of the side, so they had 24 available even. Now we know Mitch Robinson is injured, so there's one that they need to find.
At least one.
At least one. And then, so then they've got to think about 7 players from today's side that they've got to unfortunately miss out as we see play get underway again. We'll talk more about that, no doubt.
Yeah, Wicks gets the handball out to James Rose. He misses the target. Louis Taylor gets involved. Goes left, then right, and uses the left foot to advantage. Bounces it in front there of Toby Wooler. He can't quite pick it up. Van Hoysted can. Gets it to Foot. Foot now. Goes backwards. Once again, they're sharing the ball okay. Oh, that's just missed the target there. Cedric Cox is going back in. James Rose tried hard all day. He's just been a try for the Swans since he's been there, coming from Sturt. Sam Wicks has a kick down the outer side, and it evades everybody, including Errol Goulden and Matt Eagles, and will go over the boundary line for a throw.
And just to complicate matters, I think Tom Joyce might be fit by next week too.
So Tom Joyce, who's...
The only barring Mitch Robinson that we know of, besides anybody else from last night's game, that Tom Joyce was the only player on the injury list prior to this weekend.
Monumental season for the Brisbane Lions medical staff. I know it does come up with a bit of luck, but they've been superb all year.
Flying ball goes out of bounds on the full, so Brisbane will take that. Mitch Hinge will wait for the ball to come back. Flags just still fluttering reasonably strongly, but have abated a little. A bit too little too late as far as the spectacle of this game, and having the ball just on the outer side constantly. Just had his name written all over that one, did Naismith. Just hammers it off the left foot, not with any great aplomb, I might add. And Matt Eagles just absolutely manhandles his opponent and just slung to the ground. And that was unfair in a weight contest, but getting up, albeit a little bit gingerly, was Kyle Martin.
He wore that very well, Kyle Martin, because that was a brute of a tackle. You'll see it here on the replay. Oh, it's a slam. That could have been brutal. He could be in trouble for that one, Matt Eagles. It's not, I'm not suggesting anything, but...
I think the only thing that saved him is his head didn't hit the ground. It was more the shoulder.
Yep.
So he comes in, does Martin, lines it up, and that's 2 for Kyle Martin. The boy from Manly, part of the Swans Academy. Now a multiple goal kicker in the preliminary final. Again, it's not going to affect the result because 2 out of 3 goals for the Swans. And that was a lovely, lovely kick. And they moved to 3-8-26, adrift of the Brisbane Lions, 9-13-67. 41 points the margin.
Yeah, that was the margin at three-quarter time, so parity, more or less 15 and a half minutes into the final term here. Look, the Brisbane Lions have been the formidable side of the NEAFL season 2019. They have gone through the home and away season undefeated. They've got this preliminary final just about wrapped up and booking a place against Southport in the granny next week. James Bell kicks it inside 50. Josh Walker, handball over the top to Payne. Gets it to Starcevic. Now Taylor. He wants to measure one to the run of Cox. That's beautifully passed. And hits Cedric Cox right near the boundary on the outer side. Another little chip pass goes to Matheson. He's had a good game again today. Reece Matheson as well.
Coming up for possession number 24.
He's a hard boy.
Bastanak had 36.
Ooh. Matheson kicks it in the Archie Smith direction. It bounces away from him and Sam Naismith over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in at left half forward for the Brisbane Lions, leading by 41 points.
Bit of news during the week talking about the Brisbane Lions, ex-Brisbane Lions. Darryl White, his son, signed to the Houston Rockets in the NBA.
Amazing. He's a very talented basketballer, isn't he?
Yeah, that he is. Well on to him. Keep an eye out. Sam Naismith smashes the ball forward. James Rose kick smothered as just heavily meeting the fence with Josh Walker. And getting up, so no harm there, but a fair bit of contact with the fence. It's a big unit these days. A big mature boy is Josh Walker.
Another big body.
Thrown back into play. Archie Smith. Right there was Naismith. The Smiths of sorts. Archie gets it to Matheson. Long ball inside forward 50. Impacting the contest was McFadyen. Handball over the top. Fullerton couldn't find a target. McFadyen just palms one off. Gets it to Junior Silk. He has his kick smothered. Taylor back to Jacob Allison. He lines him up. He's very good in front of goals, and that is no exception. Kicks the ball wonderfully, does Jacob Allison. And he doesn't need too much of an opportunity. We saw him hoist one from the goal square past the centre circle, kicking out from fullback. And then when he pushes forward, that was a beautiful conveyance.
And we'll see it on the replay. Good smothering effort almost, but it just eluded the Swans player. I was just going to ask you, Kanga, Allison's another one. We're talking about a wing spot here, potentially, if Mitch Robinson doesn't come up within the next 7 days, and we're assuming that it would be the case, being a hamstring. Jacob Allison could be an option.
Yeah, I agree. He's a hard running. He covers the ground very well. He kicks the ball well. He's a rangy type. And they've tried to really develop him off half back at the same time, but he does have that ability to play off that wing, no doubt.
It'll be a very interesting week for the Brisbane Lions. They'll be preparing for another final in the AFL and the grand final next week for the NEAFL. It's a brilliant year for the club. Swans could have copped a free kick there for high. Nothing happened.
I agree. Should have got the free kick there.
Naismith taken by Ballenden. He's asking the question. Battled hard again today is Naismith. And Ballenden just tried to shunt him out of the way. So he gets the free kick eventually. Just shepherded him out of the ruck contest. He's going to go for the torpedo. It went end over end over end. Entering the fray, Matheson beautifully picked up. Nice handball to Josh Walker. He tries to spear it towards Archie Smith. Pink gets rid of him. Picked up by Luke Parks. He just hoists one up and down the chimney. Nicely taken at centre half back by Jacob Allison yet again.
Yeah, just pushes forward at the right times and then push back in defence. Eagles gets it out wide. To Cutler. Interest around him as well. He's probably hasn't done enough to put his name up in lights for next week, you wouldn't think.
A few Melbourne journalists are linking him up to Melbourne clubs as well.
Yeah, that's right. So, and given the talent on this Brisbane list and the way the NEAFL team have travelled, it's inevitable that I suppose that other clubs will be looking forward to play or looking at players that can't get a game in the senior side, considering how well the Lions have gone this year. Matheson just takes his opponent to ground. Well done there by Naismith. McInerney just tries to palm it in the down to Goulden, couldn't quite find him, and Roseberry's caught under a couple and will have a ball up. The Academy boys have tried very hard today for the Sydney Swans.
Oh, look, they've been generally outmanned,
Yeah,
outgunned, but, you know, you never ever doubt the intent and the desire of any Sydney Swans team coming into any game as James Rose kicks inside 50 once again. He's been doing it all day. Josh Walker floating, takes another defensive. How many marks has he taken today? He could break the world record.
That's 11.
Okay, it's
11.
not a world record.
Yeah, not quite. Well, Chipping Gore finds Leicester. And that one, it doesn't find Robertson, but he'll get it on the second bite. Just waxes there with Corey Lyons. They put it out in front of Eli Smith, but beating them there is Cutler. Just tries to measure one for Matheson. He just doesn't get there. The bounce eludes him and the Swans can come away. Goulden is the target, but eludes him. It also eludes the Lions player until Robertson gets back there. Payne, he's caught. That's a good tackle by Wicks.
You know what? Sam Wicks impresses the hell out of me. He's a great footballer.
Boy from Manly. And then the kick inside forward 50 finds Cody Hurst.
Cody Hurst has had a crack today too as well.
Yeah, it's a difficult position, isn't it? Because coming into an AFL list mid-season, as he and Michael Noel have done, hard to assimilate yourself quickly and then to try and put your name up in lights. So Cody Hurst from the Eastern Rangers and originally from Lilydale, Victoria, comes in, left foot, strikes it nicely, and that's a nice goal. So good finish, not a bad build-up, and it's all about putt for dough, drive for show, and he got the dough. Cody Hurst on that occasion, margin back to 41 points. Little skip in his run up there, but effective, very effective on the left.
So it's parity again. They've drawn the quarter, the Sydney Swans here. They were 41 down at three-quarter time. They haven't given up the ghost, and you wouldn't have expected them to anyway. 22 and a half minutes gone. It's been a very difficult day for the players outside, can't you? Just swirling breeze, bit of a dust storm as well.
Brisbane are plus 151 in possessions, plus 45 in marks, plus 20 in inside 50s. And a lot of the other stats are actually pretty reasonably balanced.
Just looking at a couple of Swans boys, Nick Blakey and James Rowbottom, getting some photos with some Sydney Swans fans down there. Well done to them for getting here as well. Supporting their boys as James Rose in the middle. Gets it out. Oh, crunching tackling effort came from Ryan Lester yet again, showing all of that experience. It's a towed forward. Skinner, handball back to Corey Lyons. Louis Taylor does the 1-2 with Lyons from 55, lowers the eyes, and nice pass and a good mark taken there by Connor McFadyen. Under a little bit of heat from Reed Van Hoysted, but takes the mark. He'll have a ping from 35-40 out.
Yeah, well, Ryan Lester, I'll tell you what it does, it illustrates to me, it'd be easy just to, I suppose, tune out a little bit because the game is beyond reach. But clearly a lot of these players have got other things on their mind that they just can't shut down, can they?
No, look, there's got to be half a dozen of them thinking they're a shot for that spot. As we see McFadyen come in, starts at left and it goes even lefter, if that's an expression, one behind. So it's 10-14-74, plays 4-8-32. 42 points the margin, the Lions lead it. We've played 24 and a bit. The final term on NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
We are into time on. 24.5 minutes. McInerney goes up the middle. Not a bad kick. Finds, I was going to say finds Goulden, but didn't quite hang on to it. Goes again. Gets a little scrubby kick out now instead. Lions are there to mop up. Eagles being one of those. Gets it out to his defensive partner in Walker. Corey Lyons and Hinge combine. Hinge swings one through, straight through Skinner's arms. Pink off to Rose. And hitting the deck hard was Walker, but he'll get up, and then copping a higher one was Corey Lyons.
I heard what you did there. Hinge and swings.
Thank you.
That was very nice.
It was Wicks that gave away the free kick, and I'll let you take it away as I pat myself on the back for the punt.
Jacob Allison, one of your best, Kanga, gets it across to Brandon Starcevic now. Bastanak, racking them up today, Bastanak. Sideways floater, ends up in the hands of Nick Robertson. He's got to target it. McFadyen finds him. Lands it a little awkwardly, a little jarring. Handball back to Nick Robertson. Has a ping from 55. This is going to curl. No, it just doesn't make the distance. It had the right line on it too. Through for a behind.
Tell you what, had the right line, enough to get you excited. Rose, that's a big kick. And it finds that man, the wall. I think we should call him the wall. Well, the wall can't kick, clearly, because he turned it straight over. McKellar it was. He just puts it deep inside Sydney's forward 50 and able to probably redeem himself to some extent will be Walker. And he just holds onto it nicely and kicks it off to Lester. Doesn't quite make the distance, so play on's the call. Starcevic gets it off to Keys. And Keys has just been hanging down back there recently. Just a little chipping ball from Keys. Finds Ryan Lester again. He's starting to really rack them up. 23 for him.
And he's done beautifully. Starcevic as well. Now, Swans basically set up very nicely, so they're making it difficult for Brisbane to come out. Long kick down the line. Good contest from everyone involved. Towed off the deck by Fullerton. This will give a chance to Luke Parks. He collects it, gets the handball away. Just hits Thorne. Thorne now, gives it to McKellar, who gets absolutely crunched. That's a really good tackle. Well done by Sam Skinner. And the umpire will ball it up.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. I mean, there was no malice. He just went hard at the tackle and really laid it on, didn't he? He came across. He had to work hard for it.
Boom.
And boom. I'd be very happy with that. Play goes on. Lyons has got the ball. Just eludes his opponent. Hurst gives it to Robertson. He just retreats and gives it to Lester. And immediately looked inside to try and open play up. Little chipping ball finds Corey Lyons. So we're really into that junk time now, aren't we?
Well, that's a better looking kick from Lyons. It was lucky it floated there. Tom Berry got there. He'll chip it to centre forward. Ballenden. He's got it. He can almost go the distance there, but he's got a man in the pocket basically by himself and hitting. That was Tom Cutler. Now, let's see if he gets a little frustrated here. He was trying to go back and draw a fitty. He wanted to be closer.
And he gave the umpire a bit of, what's happening here? Somebody's near me.
Yeah, get him out of my demilitarised zone. I need fitty. But Tom Cutler, 13 goals for the year. Tom Cutler, 13-15.
Been a good player at NEAFL level before he got injured. 13th disposal coming up.
Let's go from 35. And that's a nice looking kick. He likes it. So does the goal umpire. The Lions get there 11th, 15. 81 to the Swans, 4-8-32. So we're looking at a 49-point margin.
Yeah, it's probably where it needs to be. It was a lovely kick by Cutler. He hasn't been at his best by any stretch today, but when you get him in front of goal, he's usually effective, and he is on that occasion. I mentioned 13 disposals for him. Just been racking them up everywhere. Bastanak's had 38 for the day, 6 clearances, 6 inside 50s, 2 goals. And on the Sydney side of things, James Rose, He's at 24 for them, 5 clearances, 4 rebound 50s, 2 inside 50s, and McInerney's had 23. So I've tried hard, but to no avail. The all-conquering Brisbane Lions team, they'll roll around. And I think given the fact that only 16 listed players against Southport, I think it's going to be a real contest next week.
I reckon it's going to be right to the line next week. The Brisbane Lions, they do deserve favouritism. They have been a monumental side all year as it goes to inside 50 or right on the edge of the arc. And it's a beautiful pass, and it finds Ben Keys from Bastanak. Now, he wants to have a go. No, he doesn't. Lowers the eyes. Good lead. Well honoured Sam Skinner. 40 metres out directly in front.
Well, that's just poor marking from the Swans in the finish, isn't it? I mean, we know we're at the end of the game. It's been a warm encounter, a windy encounter, but there's no excuse for not pushing back in defence and plugging holes because Sam Skinner he had plenty of room to work with.
Yeah, there was plenty of space there. Now, see what he does. He's kicked a couple today. You really have to give this some. Oh, he does too. Starts right and doesn't come back. So just one behind result. So it's a 50-point margin. 82 plays 32.
I'd be really interested to see Brisbane's philosophy about how they pick those 16 listed players next week and who plays and who doesn't, whether that's some sort of pointer one way or another to the future of players or...
Based on the opposition too.
Possibly, because we do know that, as Wooler takes a mark there, as Southport's got a very formidable defence. Clark and Davis and Murdoch.
Yep.
Made it look hard there, Toby Wooler, as we come back here. Kicked into the man of the mark, Hurst, just to rub a bit of salt into the wound and then just pass it off to Cedric Cox.
And that's probably Southport's overall strength is their defence, isn't it, Kanga? They're just they're miserly. So it'll be interesting to see what the Lions come up with as Cox scrubs one off his shin there.
Yeah, that he does. Forces a stoppage. Closing minutes.
But we did see last year full strength Southport and the Swans restricted at the same time with about 15, 16 listed, and they really pushed Southport even on their home deck. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, I think they had about 12, the Swans
12
last
they
year.
did.
Yep, so beaten by 10 goals. So you'd think with 16, and again, the quality of cattle that Brisbane have got available, depending upon their philosophy, they're going to be hard to beat just nonetheless, but I think it's going to be a very good contest, so make sure you join us. Tom Berry will give a free kick away there to James Rose. Rose not happy about it, but will go anyway. Goes to the outer side, looking for a run line. There was a good kick. Toby Pink just trying to get control of it. Eli Smith there with him, just pushes him off it, wins the day. Gets a little ball out towards Louis Taylor, but that's just going to bounce in front of him and beat him over the line. So it's been a tough day at the office for both sides in a lot of ways, but Brisbane just too good overall.
So the throw in, the outer side at South Pine Sports Complex, latter stages of this preliminary final. The Lions in command, and there it is. The siren to kill it all off, and the Brisbane Lions remain undefeated, and they will enter next week's NEAFL 2019 Grand Final. It will be the Brisbane Lions taking on Southport. I am salivating already, Mark Kennedy. That will be an absolute ripper on NEAFL TV through Bar TV.
Yeah, it certainly will, and congratulations to the Lions and Southport for that matter to making it through to the grand final. Commiserations to the Swans. I think they've been very gallant in a lot of ways. They haven't had the run of success or luck, I suppose, or good management, or however you want to put it, of injuries that Brisbane have had. And Brisbane have just had a far superior outfit on the track today, and it really showed up here. It is going to be a fantastic meeting next week between those two sides, and I think later on tonight you'll see a media release about the time and the day that the game will be played. One thing we do know is it will definitely be played at Fankhauser Reserve down the Gold Coast, Southport's home ground.
Or dung heap, as you referred to it earlier.
Yeah, the poshest dung heap you've ever seen in your life.
Multi-million-dollar dung heap at Fankhauser. I love the Cabana Bar. It's going to be rocking next week, and so we'll find out those details. I think today's game, the Sydney Swans, they lost Hayden McLean and Joel Amati, both to concussion just before half-time. That really cruelled their chances, methinks. Amati really was really standing up in defence, but they never They never let the game go, the Swannies. They had a red-hot crack, just outclassed today. And the Brisbane Lions, they've taken all before them in season 2019. They want to go one step further too. They want to make sure that they go through the season completely undefeated and take home the premiership. So they'll be moving mountains to do so next week.
Yeah, that they will. And today they really put the writing on the wall for really trying to stack some form up for these players. And let's not forget, and I mentioned it a few times there, that some of these players won't be playing next week.
Exactly right.
In this game. And the rules say under the NEAFL rules and regulations that I think that they can only play 16 listed players in a final.
Against the State League club.
Against the State League club, which Southport are. So some of these players have played their last game for the season. We don't know who yet. But they racked them up in absolute numbers today. None more so than Ryan Basnack at 39 disposals, 9 marks, 6 tackles, 7 clearances, 7 inside 50s, and a couple of goals to go with it. He was prolific everywhere out there. Corey Lyons, he had 29 and really came into the game late. 4 clearances, 3 inside 50s. Josh Walker, he was a pillar in the defensive structure there. 12 marks with his 28 disposals, 5 inside 50s as well. Jacob Allison kicked a lovely goal in the last quarter there, 28 disposals. Matheson was good through the middle with 27. Taylor, he was pretty good, couple of goals, both to the right of screen, which was the toughest place to kick them today, 25 disposals for him. And Ryan Lester did his chances for a senior recall, no harm for me, 25 disposals as well. For the Sydney Swans, it was James Rose, 25 touches for him, 6 clearances, 5 rebound 50s and 2 inside 50s. McInerney had 23, 5 marks, couple of clearances, 11 rebound 50s, tried hard. And Sam Wicks, I thought he tried very, very well, 19 disposals, 5 tackles, 5 inside 50s. And young Gould, he also had 16 along with James Bell. So as we hear the Brisbane Lions get a hand off the ground, and the Swans should get one too for their season. I know it's a small consolation, but we're looking forward to an enormous clash next week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And well done to the Sydney Swans. They've been up there for several years now. They keep providing the pointy end of the finals in the NEAFL, and well done to their contest today. But it's the Brisbane Lions with the chocolates. A couple of goal scorers. Sam Skinner had a couple, Louis Taylor with a couple, Bastanak with a couple, singles to Ben Keys, Jacob Ellison, Reece Matheson and Tom Fullerton. For the Swannies, it was Kyle Martin, the only multiple goal scorer, with a couple. Cody Hurst had one, and Marco Rossman with one. So it is next week. Fankhauser Reserve. We'll find out the time and the date later on this evening through NEAFL and the media department that it will be Southport versus the Brisbane Lions in the 2019 NEAFL Grand Final. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy will be calling all of your action, along with the great man Bob Batty. We'll have Rolly Starray on the boundary line as well. And it's going to be an absolutely cracking day at Southport. Can't wait for it, Kanga. It's going to be a ball-tearing day. Yeah,
look, I look forward to being there and being there live in the flesh. It's going to be awesome, and as we said, congratulations to both sides of making it through, and we'll see who's going to hold up that Premiership Cup at the end of the game there.
We will find out next week. We'll see you for the grand final. It's farewell on behalf of Mark Kanga Kennedy, Tim, Geordie and Ben, the superb crew from Bar TV. I'm Michael Price, and we'll catch you next week for the granny on NEAFL TV through Bar TV.